Prologue. Mad Rabbit wants to live. I wasn't born angry. I was made that way. Carved out of pain, sharpened by fear, taught to survive with my fists long before I learned how to breathe. People say trauma shapes you. Mine didn't shape me. It broke me, peeled me open, and left me nothing but a pulse and rage. But then there was him, Casey Cross, a walking disaster wrapped in tattoos and danger, with fists that could kill and a voice that could steady every storm inside me. He was everything I should have run from, and the only thing I ever ran toward. I didn't know that the day on dva nezbyl mě na drogi, he'd also rewrite the ending of my story. I didn't know he'd become the one person capable of destroying me, or saving what was left. This is not a love story. It's a survival story. And I'm done surviving. Now I want to live, even if it kills me. Millie. I haven't felt a damn thing in ages. Not life, not desire, not passion, nothing. I'm 35 and woke up in some random apartment with my hair a bird's nest and mascara smeared like I survived a bar fight. At my age, I'm supposed to have a family, a couple kids, maybe a golden retriever and a mortgage. But nope, it's just me. Still drunk from last night, obviously unsatisfied because, of course, I ended up crashing at my gay friend's place. My legs are killing me too because I'm 35 for fuck's sake, and I spent the whole night dancing to techno like I was 21. I should have a savings account and a cute little house in the suburbs, but all I've got is my grandma's old apartment that still smells like her perfume and zero savings. Just cash, a couple pathetic bills in my pocket. So I'm walking. No subway, no Uber. I don't have a car and never will. Driving makes me want to ram myself into a wall. Walking is better. Clears my already hungover brain. I shove my headphones in and try to remember last night. It was fun, right? New people, loud energy. Did I laugh? Did I enjoy myself? I can't remember a single damn thing. I should call Josie and find out where her big ass vanished. That bitch wasn't supposed to leave me alone. Then again, whatever. I'm a grown woman. Good thing it's summer. Not that I give a shit. I've stopped giving a shit about anything a long time ago. Nothing shakes me. I feel nothing. Haven't for years. My only rule? Don't let my kids down. Yeah, plot twist. I teach dance to kids under 14. Take that, God. Suck on that divine irony. The only thing that still makes my heart twitch, even for a damn minute, is dancing with them. You thought I was absolute trash? Well, not 100%, but even that doesn't make me a good person. I still feel like sewage flowing through pipes. Anyway, I'm 35, and I still want to live. Even if I don't know what living is supposed to feel like anymore. I turn on to Central, crank the music up, and my headphones practically vibrate off my head. Whatever. I'm wearing my friend's oversized shirt. Pretty sure he doesn't know he loaned it to me. Sneakers, high socks almost to my thighs. Don't remember what the hell I wore to that party. Who cares? I sure don't. I close my eyes for 1 second, letting the hangover hum through me, letting the bass shake my skull, and freeze. I walked into the street on a red light. I didn't see it. I felt it. A sudden punch of wind and dust slammed into my face. Someone braked right in front of me. A car? Did I almost die? Am I still alive? I rip off my headphones and turn left. 3 bikes, 3 riders. The one who blasted me with the air is closest. Helmet, sport bike, still as a statue. What did I scare you, asshole? I stare at him. He's in a black t-shirt, muscles twitching along his arms. Black jeans, heavy helmet, black bike. Everything around him is black. I lift my middle finger at where his eyes should be. Fuck you, buddy. You should have run me over when you had the chance. He doesn't speak, just gives a slow, irritated shake of his helmet. Cars start honking. His 2 buddies ride around me, spraying dust into my face again. He doesn't move. Boots planted on the asphalt, hands on the bike, breathing like he's trying not to lose his shit. I stare into the dark visor one more time, then slowly put my headphones back in. Middle finger still up, and I walk away. Whatever, my kids are waiting. And even with a hangover, I'll be a better version of my mother. So the whole world can go to hell.
Casey. I live for speed. It's the only thing that actually clears my head, the only thing that makes me feel alive. My kind of alive, anyway. Air slamming into me, the pushback, the way my bike slices through space and leaves everything I'm running from in the dust. Elle said they're waiting at the docks. A shipment of new wheels just came in from Japan, and after that, I'm supposed to stop by Mr. West's office and listen to yet another lecture about how it's time to crawl back to my father and become the man I never wanted to be again. No fucking thanks. I woke up a couple hours ago, still half aware of the day or time, but already pulling on my helmet and firing up my bike. Speed is the only thing that wakes me. The only thing that feels real. The power under my thighs, the engine vibrating between my legs. Nothing else hits that hard. Elle, Bo, and I are flying down a busy street, blowing past everyone sipping their coffees in cozy cars or sweating in shitty buses. At the light, I slow down, turn my helmet toward the car next to me and wave at the little girl in the back seat. She shows me her teddy bear, so I tap my knuckles on the window where she's smiling. Cute kid, green light. I shoot forward, carving around a couple of blocks. I glance back, the guys fell behind, I look forward again. And there's a silhouette, right in front of me. I slam the brakes, hard. The bike practically launches me up on the front wheel. Pads screech. My heart kicks once, violently. The silhouette becomes a woman. She pulls off her big white headphones and looks at me, through the visor, straight into me. What the hell are you doing walking into the street on a red light, sweetheart? Trying to get killed? She freezes. Her eyes narrow into pure anger. Then she lifts her middle finger at me. And for some insane reason, I smile. I almost killed her, and she flips me off, fucking idiot. She's wearing an oversized white t-shirt, not hers, high socks, dirty sneakers. Her hair's a messy knot at the back of her head, strands falling across her face. Mascara smudged, exhaustion stamped under her eyes. And the eyes... Jesus, I've seen eyes like that before, hollow, hurting, empty in a way that isn't naturally empty. She keeps staring at me. Then she walks away, finger up again, like I'm the one who stepped into traffic. Fucking idiot. I could have killed you without even trying. I sit there for another minute, trying to get my shit together. What the hell was that? Casey, you need to come back to the family business. Your father doesn't like sharing his empire with people he can't trust, and he trusts almost no one. Mr. West says when I drop by his office after the docks. I sip the coffee his assistant set down for me and immediately start looking for her ass. Pretty girl, painfully shy. Casey, are you listening? He raises his voice. Yeah, I say flatly, still scanning the room. Ah, there it is. She walks in again, puts a folder on the desk, and gives me a tiny shy smile. Casey, West barks. What are you doing after work, sweetheart? I can give you a ride to my place, I tell her with a wink. She blushes, glances at her boss, then at me, and practically escapes the room. Casey, please. West exhales heavily. You need to hear me out and go back to your father. I'm tired. I stand up and head to the door. Tell him I'm not ready. But, Casey, he gave you 2 years and they're up. Casey. I leave before he finishes the sentence. 2 years. It's been 2 years since I walked away from my father. From the family business, from being his furious bulldozer who handled problems quickly and quietly. They'll keep trying to drag me back until I give in. But I'm not planning on making anything easy for them, and I sure as hell don't plan on surrendering. I don't want to dive back into that ruthless world I was thrown into 10 years ago. After my mother died, I turned feral, angry, uncontrollable, and my father found the perfect use for a son like that. He used me well, but now, I'm just a guy on a bike with a couple of friends, and that's exactly who I want to be. So, sweetheart, when should I pick you up? I ask the assistant, leaning over her desk. She avoids my eyes, but her voice betrays her. 7, she says with a tiny smile. I wink and leave. Well, at least today's visit wasn't a total waste. I'll pick up the pretty thing and show her a side of herself she's never seen. My phone vibrates in my pocket. Elle and Beau are waiting on the parking lot. What now? Hey, Beau yells from his bike. I gotta pick up my girl from work, then we're riding. You in? I've got 2 hours before my date with West's assistant. So why the hell not? I pull on my vest, helmet, gloves, start the engine, and with Beau's whistle cutting through the air, we tear off towards Central. Samantha works at the dance studio and teaches yoga on weekends. She and Beau have been together forever. I can't remember a version of him without her, and I've known him since I was 10. We pull up across the street from the studio and kill the engines. Sam will be out in a minute, Beau mutters, checking his phone. She says there's some kind of delay. Elle and Beau take off their helmets. I just lift my visor. I hate unclipping and clipping it back on for no reason. Whoa, what the hell is that? Elle points at one of the huge studio windows, where the lights flick on. A woman steps inside the dance room. Tall heels, tiny shorts hugging her ass, a cropped top that leaves her stomach bare. Music thunders from the studio speakers, and she starts dancing. Damn. Elle exhales. Is that a strip class? She slides into a full split, lifts her hips, rolls her neck, then snaps into a backward flip, landing perfectly on those heels. Who the hell is that, and why has Sam been hiding her from us? Elle is practically panting. I keep watching her. Her body moves like liquid fire, controlled and wild at the same time, and something crawls under my skin. Familiar. Wrongly familiar. I can't see her face clearly, but I know her. Somehow. She flips into another split, lifting her hips with slow, devastating precision. Hey, Sam, Elle yells when Beau's girl finally comes out of the building. Since when do you teach strip classes? What? Sam frowns. She's small, delicate, serious, hair always tied up. I've only seen it down once, years ago when she walked out of the lake house shower wrapped in a towel. We need another trip there. Who's that? Elle points at the girl still dancing. Oh, that's Millie the mean bitch, Sam blurts. She's been here for 6 months, teaches kids. Kids? You're kidding. Striptease for kids? Elle squeaks. It's not striptease, you idiot. Sam rolls her eyes. She teaches classical dance. She's a legit choreographer. Worked in Toronto for years. She's kind of a legend around here. She buckles her helmet and swings onto Beau's bike. But she's a bitch, like for real. I love bitches, Elle chirps. Oh no, Sam laughs sharply. Trust me, that one would eat you alive. Everyone here's afraid to even approach her, except the kids. They worship her. Beau starts his bike. He looks at me. Ready? But I'm still staring through that window. The woman, Millie, isn't dancing anymore. The music cut out. She's breathing hard, looking down at her legs. I've got plans, I blurt, meeting West's assistant. Ooh, Elle teases. I saw her, total bunny. I shrug, and they drive off. But I stay. leaning back on my bike, visor half open, staring at the woman in the studio as she gathers her things. Where do I know you from? Why the hell do you feel like déjà vu? The studio empties. Millie walks out, and lightning hits me. It's her, the idiot from this morning. The one who walked into the road, flipped me off, and looked at me like I owed her the world. Same oversized t-shirt, same high socks, same dirty sneakers, same white headphones, but her face is cleaned up, and her hair pulled into a high ponytail. Of course, I recognized her silhouette. How the hell do I run into her twice in one day? I check the time. I should already be picking up the assistant, but I can't take my eyes off Millie. She scrolls through her phone, turns up the volume on her headphones, and heads down the street. I start my bike and follow on the opposite sidewalk. What the hell am I doing? Am I stalking her? Apparently, yes. She catches a cab several blocks down. I accelerate. I trail the taxi, not close enough to be obvious, but close enough not to lose her. West's assistant is probably waiting on the curb right now. Whatever. The taxi turns into Soho, then winds through a few smaller streets before stopping at a 3-story building. Across the road, a 5-story parking garage. I watch Millie get out. She disappears into the building. A light turns on in a 3rd-floor window. I punch the parking ticket, roll up the ramp, and park on the level facing her apartment. From here, the entire place is visible. Millie steps into a large room, switches on a lamp, turns off the overhead lights. She likes the dark, or at least the suggestion of it. She moves into her bedroom, turns on another lamp. Soft, intimate. Then she pulls off the oversized t-shirt, left in nothing but the faint outline of underwear before she disappears into what must be the bathroom. I stay seated on my bike, helmet still on, breathing slower than I should. Does she know how exposed she is? Does she know someone could be watching? 20 minutes pass. She comes back, hair wet, wrapped in a small towel. My throat works on its own. What the hell am I doing? Why her? She picks up her phone, scrolls, sets it aside. Then, without looking up, the towel falls. I freeze. My pulse slams against the inside of my helmet. She turns away, pulls on a clean t-shirt, lets it drape down her body, then crawls onto the bed, limbs sinking into those massive pillows, the room bathed in soft, honeyed shadow. Music starts playing. Something slow. Something that shouldn't feel as intimate as it does. She stretches, her body unwinding and arching like she's trying to breathe out a lifetime of tension. Her hands glide over her own skin in slow, unhurried motions. Intimate, familiar. The kind that aren't meant for anyone else's eyes. I shouldn't be here, I know that. But I'm rooted to the seat, chest tight, heat coiling low and fierce. A flicker of her face, relaxed, unguarded, a little broken, hits me harder than anything else tonight. I can't hear her. But I can see her breathe, see the way her body tightens, arches, melts, lost in a moment no one is supposed to witness, and I am witnessing all of it. Breath held, jaw clenched, every nerve pulled tight. She lies on the bed, closes her eyes, and raises her arms above her head. The next second, her right hand begins to move down my neck, chest, and stomach. Fuck. Millie spreads her legs, slowly and painfully for me, and places her hand between her thighs. Her back begins to smoothly arch. As she strokes herself, I feel the heat flaring between my legs. My cock hardens and presses against my fly. Oh my God. Millie opens her mouth and begins to suck on the fingers of her other hand, continuing to stroke herself. Then she lowers her wet fingers between her legs and spreads them even further. I wish I were in her room right now. My head starts to spin, and I tug at my jeans. They've become too tight. I can't see, but I understand that Millie is penetrating herself with one hand and rubbing her clit with the other. I can't hear her, but I can tell she's moaning, her chest rising and falling, her mouth open as if she's choking. She speeds up and lifts her head, watches herself fuck, and then throws her head back. She comes. Her legs rise and shudder. My heart skips a beat, and I freeze, my mouth open. My dick hates me. I can feel it. I stare at Millie for another minute and, breathing heavily, start the bike. Already at home, standing in the almost cold shower, I squeeze my cock. I run my hand over it, remembering how Millie used to caress herself, unaware that I was watching her from across the street, and I begin to jerk off. I see her body on the bed before my eyes, her trembling legs, and the eyes I saw this morning. Eyes, empty and filled with pain. And I come hot sperm under a cold shower and try to blink away the memories of this strange girl. But I dream about her all night, how she dances in the hall, how she caresses herself, how she gives me the finger in the middle of the road, and in the morning I come again, imagining her legs shaking from orgasm.
Millie. Okay, what about this one? Josie, my one and only friend in this entire pathetic world, shoves her phone practically into my face while we sit in a cafe, drinking coffee that went cold about an hour ago. She's a busty brunette with huge, bright blue eyes that somehow grow even bigger every time she slips into her self-appointed role as the matchmaker of my tragic personal life. Ugh. I wrinkle my nose at the guy on her screen, faded haircut, dull smile. Seriously, what the hell is wrong with your taste? I like ugly men. Josie laughs and licks her full lips like she's auditioning for trouble. Come on, let's find you a man. No, I don't want a man. I want you to stop shoving this crap down my throat. You need good sex and a steady guy? How long has it been since the divorce? A year? 2? She scrolls through more photos like she's browsing a catalog of future disappointments. 2 years since Will fucked off. I mutter, thinking about my ex-husband. I don't need a permanent guy. I'm not ready to start that shit all over again. But you do need sex. She raises an eyebrow. I shrug. It's lunchtime and we're sitting in a cafe not eating a damn thing. It's been a week since I cut off alcohol, after waking up in a stranger's apartment. And now I swear I have some kind of food allergy. Everything makes me nauseous. My classes ended early today. Fridays are short days. And I honestly don't know what to do with myself if I'm not drinking. Alcohol became the wallpaper of my life 6 months ago when I moved back to my hometown. Too many memories. Too much noise inside my own head. Needs drowning somehow. Give me your phone, Josie says, already reaching for it. I'm taking responsibility for your sex life. Stop. I take a sip of coffee and instantly regret it. The nausea crawls back. You're a bitch because you don't have sex. I do have sex. I lie, trying to remember the last time someone actually fucked me. I'm a bitch by nature. Josie taps away on my phone while I stare out the window. Cars multiplying, people disappearing. Got him! Josie squeals and thrusts my phone back at me. On the screen is a photo of a guy in a white t-shirt and black jeans, arms crossed over his chest, smiling like life's never punched him in the teeth. You installed a dating app on my phone that fast? I ask, staring at her face. Stop whining. He's cute, and I already gave him 5 stars. I stay silent. I've never cared less in my entire life. I haven't cared about anything for a long time. Maybe that's why Will left. Oh my God, he's typing. He's actually typing, she gushes, tapping the screen. I turn back to the window and notice a bike across the street. A guy in a white hoodie, black helmet, sitting on his bike and looking straight our way. Maybe not at me, but he sure as hell is facing us. I look right at him. He should know I see him. I don't have a helmet to hide behind, unlike this little shit. I take another sip of coffee, keeping my eyes on the biker. Then I lift my middle finger at him. If he's not watching me, he won't notice. But he lifts his hand and flips me off right back. For some reason, I smile. And then I laugh. What? Josie snaps me back. Nothing. I look at her, pretending absolutely nothing happened, and that some creepy biker isn't staring right into the cafe. Anyway, I set everything up. You've got a date at 8. You did what? My eyes nearly fall out of my skull. His name is Joe, and he'll be waiting for you at Barry's bar tonight. She hands me my phone, and I see their entire exchange. I drop my head onto the table while she rambles about more details I don't want to hear. What the actual fuck, Josie? I growl. Just have fun, please. Do it for me. Go on this one date and distract yourself from everything. I lift my head and look at her. The only person in this whole damn world who knows me. I hate you. I know, she says simply. But I'm really hoping that one day you'll love me back. I'm sitting in the bar waiting for this fucking Joe. God, I'm never late. And I hate when other people are. And I actually prepared for this damn date. I put on a short dark blue dress with short sleeves. Did my hair put mascara on? I wasn't in the mood for heels today, so I wore my favorite high-top sneakers. I smell nice, I look great. I'm even breathing evenly, and this asshole is late. I try to calm the rage that's building inside me as I stare at the clock hands. He was supposed to be here 7 minutes ago. I'll wait 3 more, then I'm out. What the hell? I love Josie. She's the only one who went through every shitty stage of my life with me and stayed. She's just as lonely as I am, with her own matching bag of trauma. We've known each other for more than 20 years. We grew up together, studied together, fell in love at the same time, even lost our virginity at prom on the same night. Only because I don't want to disappoint her even more did I agree to this blind date. But screw it. I get up and decide to leave. Millie? A tall guy appears the second I throw the long cord of my phone over my shoulder. Oh, sorry I'm late. I couldn't find parking. There's some biker gathering going on. I had to leave the car a few blocks away. He reaches out his hand and introduces himself with that stupid name, Joe. He's handsome enough, fit, but his teeth are way too white for someone with that much tan. Fine. Whatever. I sit down again. I chose a table by the big panoramic window so I can turn away if he ends up being boring as hell. What are you drinking? Joe asks, blinding me with those bleached teeth. Screw it. My sobriety has dragged on long enough, and maybe this night will suck a little less if I have a drink. Gin. I exhale. He heads to the bar and comes back a minute later with 2 glasses. He starts talking with his low voice, and I feel his hungry gaze sliding over me like I'm prey. Gross. Outside, I hear engines roaring and brakes screeching. Someone's tearing around the parking lot. Then laughter, excited yelling. I try not to look out the window because Joe is waving his hands around, explaining his job like I care. Be polite, Millie. Smile. Suddenly, my phone vibrates. A message. Some standard weather alert. Sorry, I cut him off. Important call. 1 minute. Perfect moment to run. First to the bathroom, then away from this guy altogether. What a bore. I'm back a minute later. Joe's stupid smile is still glued to his face. Sorry, I force out again. I have to go. Something came up. I got a weather alert and it says, you're a piece of worthless shit with a high chance of precipitation. Oh no, Joe sighs. But we were having such a great time. Seriously? Let's at least have a drink then. You didn't even touch yours. He hands me the glass of gin, smiling like an idiot. Fuck it. I wanted the drink anyway. I take the glass from his hand and lift it to my lips. He watches me without blinking. Right as I decide to knock the whole drink back in one go, something hits the window next to our table. Bang! I jerk my head toward the glass and see a guy outside. A dark t-shirt, protective vest, motorcycle helmet. I stare at him, still holding the gin in my hand. What the hell? Joe growls, spitting as he talks. The guy in the helmet shakes his head, looking straight at me. I swallow hard and set my glass on the table. He gives me a small, approving nod. Who the hell is that? Joe spits again. Two more guys appear behind the first. Both in helmets, both in black leather jackets. Joe, furious, storms outside. I follow him in shock. What the fuck? Joe yells at the helmeted guys, throwing his arms out. He barely takes 2 steps before he falls flat on his ass. The one in the t-shirt clenches his fist. Did he just punch Joe? Are you out of your damn mind? Joe shrieks from the ground, rubbing his cheek. While you were in the bathroom, he dropped something into your drink, I hear one of the leather jacket guys say. The meaning hits me, and my blood starts to boil. Joe tried to drug me. And then what? I don't need a big trigger to get angry. I'm angry all the time. It's the only emotion I have left. I look at Joe, and in the same second, I lift my leg and kick him in the face. He squeals. The helmeted guys stay silent. Blood splashes across the pavement. Maybe they lied, but I only thought about that afterwards. No, wait, it's not like that, Joe whines. And I kick him again. Blood pours from his nose. He closes his eyes and whimpers. Crazy bitch, he groans. I just wanted to help you relax. Weird justification, huh? Do I look relaxed to you? I hiss and kick him in the ribs. The guy who punched Joe takes a step toward me and reaches out a hand, barely, but enough. Come on, he says in a low voice. His friends turn and walk off. The one in the helmet stays and keeps his hand out for me. I don't know why, but I take his hand and step over Joe's body. I follow the helmeted guy. The stranger leads me across the parking lot, still holding my hand. Silent. My anger has faded. I hope that asshole Joe rots in hell. We reach 3 bikes. His friends in black leather jackets slowly get on their motorcycles. I'm taking you home, the stranger finally says. I stop and stare at his closed helmet, shaking my head. I don't want to be alone right now. No one has ever tried to drug me before, and no stranger has ever saved me before either. I don't want to go home. It sounds childish as hell, but I still say it. He turns his helmet toward his friends. They stay silent for a minute. Maybe they communicate telepathically. God, what am I even thinking? Get on, the stranger says as he swings his leg over his bike. I've never been on a bike, and honestly, it scares me a bit. I blurt out, again sounding like a damn child. The first time, I'll be slow and controlled, he says, and I fucking freeze. It sounded dirty, I know, but I still smiled. Idiot. Uncertainly, I step closer to the bike and swing my leg over, settling behind this not-quite stranger. My knees rest on either side of his legs, and suddenly, I don't know what to do with my hands. Hug him? Shit. His friends take off and disappear fast. Suddenly, the stranger grabs my thighs just above the knees and, without turning around, lifts and shifts my hips farther back from him. My ass instantly realizes I'm seated much more comfortably than before. Did he put me on an actual passenger seat? My head has no idea what's happening. Then he reaches back, still without looking at me, catches my hands and forces me to wrap them around his waist. He starts the engine and pushes off. We begin to move. Warm air hits my face and I start to smile. God, it's been so long since I felt anything like this. What even is this? We ride down an empty road, not going very fast, but fast enough for the world to stretch around us. He leans the bike slightly when we take turns, and every time, my heart stalls. I'm not a fan of speed, or of cars, motorcycles, anything that moves faster than I think it should. But right now, I'm pressing myself against a complete stranger and enjoying it. Josie was right. I need sex. Apparently, my hormones are frying my brain. After 15 minutes, we slow down and roll into an old abandoned amusement park by the waterfront. The place still has carousels and those crooked mirror rooms. Only the park hasn't had visitors in at least 10 years. I had no idea bikers gathered here. We pass an old hot dog stand and stop. I hear music and people's voices, but they're not close. The stranger cuts the engine. I carefully remove my arms from him and slide off, because that's what it is, sliding off a bike. He leans back and crosses his arms over his chest. I hope there's something to drink here. I straighten the bottom of my dress and try not to look at him. You shouldn't drink, he says, looking at me through his helmet, still sitting on the bike. I notice a tattoo on his right forearm, some kind of chain or something, and quickly look away. Fine, thanks for the advice, I say, taking a step toward the music. And thanks for the ride. I have no idea how to talk to a stranger who apparently saved my life, or at least saved me from being fucked against my will. He won't even take his helmet off. And I'm sure he's the same guy I saw this morning when Josie was setting up that stupid date. Is he my stalker? Or is this fate? Oh, shut up, Millie. I follow the sound and don't look back at him again. Has the adventure started or already ended? Guess we'll find out soon. I turn a corner around a small building. It used to be a shooting booth, I think. And the most insane scene opens up in front of me. People, bikes, dancing women, fire burning in barrels, and cars with trunks stuffed full of alcohol. Damn, it looks fun. The music gets louder, and I start to feel the whole mood of this place settling under my skin. Hey, want a drink? Tell Mikey to turn it up. Baby, where you going? Let's dance all night. Voices are everywhere, from everyone at once. Leather jackets, helmets, girls in tiny shorts, men's gloved hands. Everything melts together under the heavy bass. I walk past the crowd and spot a familiar face. A tiny blonde with her hair tied up, standing next to a beer barrel, staring into her plastic cup. Samantha? I take a step toward her, but someone's back blocks my way. A massive guy in a sleeveless vest looms over Samantha, cutting me off. Want to have some fun, sweetheart? He growls into the back of her head. No! Samantha must have turned away immediately because the man starts growling louder. Don't turn away from me, little girl. Come on, let's have some fun. Leave me alone? She's not yelling, but her voice cracks, and I hear it. He jerks Samantha's arm. I take a step forward and end up right in front of her. Old reflexes. Childhood reflexes. Hi! I force a smile and lift my brows. We've worked together for half a year and barely exchanged more than a couple of words. I don't need new friends at work or anywhere else, but right now she clearly needs one. She stays silent and I notice her lips trembling. Hey man, could you leave us alone and fuck off? I lift my gaze to the giant and watch him sneer at me. I want her to be my friend too, the idiot rasps. Samantha rips her arm out of his grip and steps toward me. Thank you, she whispers quickly. Hey, bitch, the brute starts. Back off, dude. Just back off. Samantha and I step backward, and I realize people are starting to watch our little scene. Give me the girl. He reaches toward me, trying to shove me aside to get to Samantha. I grab his arm and hit his forearm. He grunts but keeps coming. I kick him in the ribs, and this time he staggers a little. I grab Samantha and pull her back. The guy straightens up and starts moving toward me again. I know how to fight, thanks to my ex-husband, but I've never dealt with such a large slab of meat before. Bitch! He snarls. I take 2 more steps back and even brace myself for a hit to the jaw, but suddenly someone else's back appears in front of me, shielding me from the brute. Casey, what the hell? The giant practically yells. The guy in the black t-shirt in front of me clicks his tongue. You decided to have fun with Bo's girl? I hear the guy say. What? I didn't know. What, that little one? The brute peeks around him to look at Samantha. Fine. And who the fuck is this? Yours? The guy clicks his tongue again but stays silent. I stand behind him, and then he moves his hands behind his back, sliding them into his jeans pockets. That's when I see the familiar tattoo as that chain on his right forearm. It's him, the one who brought me here. Fine, I'm leaving, the brute growls. Apologize to the girls. the guy in front of me says. The brute peeks out again and waves awkwardly. Sorry, ladies. I didn't mean to offend. I glance at Samantha and she scowls angrily. The man backs away and hauls his ass out of there. The guy standing in front of me turns around and I see, for the first time, the one who drove me here. The first thing I notice are his big blue eyes and the small scar cutting through his left eyebrow. A slightly upturned nose and very full lips. His hair falls forward in waves, covering his eyes, and he brushes it back with one smooth motion. Sharp cheekbones hovering over me because his chest is about 10 centimeters from mine. He's tall and young, definitely younger than me, or he has amazing anti-wrinkle cream. Samantha, he growls, looking past me at her. What the hell are you doing here alone? Where's Bo? Samantha practically whimpers and presses into me, grabbing my hand and squeezing it. I ran into a friend, she says weakly. I keep staring at him, watching the muscles in his jaw move, noticing the little glints of metal in his ears. Left ear, 3 small studs. Right ear, 1. I dropped off your so-called friend 10 minutes ago, the guy says coldly. And you were here alone this whole time? Samantha mutters something, but the guy steps past us. Let's go, he snaps, and his back moves away. He brought you here? Samantha whispers, still holding my hand. He and his friends saved me from a would-be rapist. And, long story, I say. The longest sentence I've ever said to Samantha in all the time we've known each other. Her eyes widen, but she doesn't let go of my hand, and we follow him. We walk past some abandoned booths and through a small, overgrown square. Ahead of us, 2 guys appear, probably the ones from outside the cafe where Joe tried to drug me. Baby, what the hell? A guy with a nose piercing walks up to Samantha, probably Bo, the one she's not supposed to be away from. The other guy, a curly blonde with brown eyes, stretches his lips into a mischievous smile and winks at me. How are you doing, princess? Beat someone up again? He reaches out a hand. I'm Elle. Millie, I mutter, not shaking his hand. They're all weird, but the fact they're Samantha's friends, someone I at least vaguely know, is oddly comforting. Casey says you beat someone up again. Elle laughs and looks at the guy in the black t-shirt. So, that's his name? Casey. I look at him again, but his face stays stone cold. He just lifts one eyebrow. The one with the scar. I feel awkward. A few minutes later, more people join us. Some with drinks, some with girls hanging off them. And it gets a little crowded. While Samantha wraps her arms around her beau, I decide to walk away from these new acquaintances. They're not paying much attention to me anyway, and I might slip away unnoticed. Irish exit. I walk past the parked bikes and down a set of stone steps toward the water. The river looks especially creepy here. Black water, the smell of rotten dampness, but I inhale like it's the first clean breath I've had today. I stand by the water, staring across at a barely visible opposite shore, and think of my mom. She never took us to the river or the lake. I can't swim. I don't know what it's like to ride a boat. My mother was a bad person and didn't give me much as a parent. She took almost everything I had, including my soul. The hairs on the back of my neck lift. Someone's behind me. I don't turn around. Too much has happened today for me to care about being murdered by some psycho. The guy steps to my right and exhales heavily. Rough day? I ask, for some reason, still not looking at him. Eventful, he answers. Casey? I ask, glancing at his profile. Millie? He replies, lifting one eyebrow again. Thanks for stepping in. And thank you for protecting Samantha. We go quiet. I breathe. He breathes. We both stare at the water. Are you always such an asshole? I ask with a smile, still not looking at him. Ouch. He clicks his tongue, feigning offense. But now I get why they call you the angry bitch. Oh, come on, I'm adorable. He lifts the corners of his mouth in something like a smile. Who taught you to fight? He asks, slipping his hands into the back pockets of his jeans. Life, I say philosophically, thinking of my ex-husband. You're angry, Casey notes, turning toward me. That's not a question? I raise an eyebrow. How did he figure out in minutes what I try so hard to hide? Then again, who am I kidding? Everyone knows I'm a mean bitch. It's a fact, he says, his low voice softening. I shrug, not arguing. What happened in your life to make you this angry? He studies my face, his own completely unreadable. These kinds of questions usually come around the third or fourth date. Look at me flirting. Miracles happen. He lifts both eyebrows now. Still no smile, not even a hint. I look at him again, sigh, and take a step away. All right, idiot. Nice meeting you and all that. Thanks for everything, and goodbye. I turn around and get ready to walk away. From him, from this group, from this waterfront, and from this strange-ass day. He suddenly grabs my hand and stops me. With one sharp pull, he turns me toward him and steps closer. You look like a rabbit, he says, again with zero emotion on his face. A small, crazy rabbit. I stay silent. Excuse me? The fuck did you just say? He looks straight into my eyes, searching for something there, and then, barely audible, he says, I'm taking you home. And before I can open my mouth, he grabs my hand and drags me across the parking lot toward his bike. What the actual hell?
Casey. I watched her all week, riding around her house, her work, the cafe where she met her friend. She's funny when she gets annoyed, not angry, annoyed like a kid. When she started banging her head against the table in that cafe, I almost burst out laughing, and she flipped me off again. I figured out pretty fast that she's full of rage, constant, uncontrollable rage. The way she looks at people on the street, the ones she thinks are stupid or not funny enough. The way her eyes shoot lightning when moms with strollers block her path or when old people move too slowly and stop her from speeding up. She hates every single one of them. That guy who tried flirting with her while she was picking up an order at the sports store, no idea what she told him, but judging by his bright red face and neck, it was definitely something rough. The waitress at the diner who mistakenly brought her a cappuccino instead of black coffee, the poor girl nearly cried walking away from Millie's table. She hates everyone she makes eye contact with. Probably everyone except the kids she teaches and her friend. Every cell in her body is soaked in anger. Sometimes she hides it under heavy sighs or cartoonish facial expressions. Sometimes she laughs, but I'm not convinced she's actually amused. I don't know yet why she's so angry, but her anger is raw, primal. I know the type. I used to be that. Sometimes Millie tries to burn off her wild hatred for the world. In those moments, she puts on high heels and dances, hard and fast, slowing down only in a split. After dancing, she looks like someone else entirely, like she's reborn, but it never lasts long. She always goes back to the rage. I watched her all this time, from the first day we met, and even though I hadn't heard her voice once, I was sure it would sound like a snake's hiss. I still don't fully understand why she pulls me in like this, but it feels like I turned on my favorite show, and now I'm starving to know how it ends. I wasn't standing outside that bar window by accident. I follow her most of the time, quietly, on my bike, helmet down. Elle and Beau found me near the bar and didn't even question it. Lucky timing, since the parking lot by Barry's is a favorite biker spot. Big, open, no cameras. That's the stripper girl from Samantha's studio, isn't it? Elle spotted Millie immediately. We stared through the window as some pretty boy smiled at her and she looked bored out of her mind. When she went to the bathroom, that bastard dropped something into her drink and stirred it. Neither Elle nor Beau said a word. We just moved to the window, and I hit the glass to catch her attention. A couple years back, Elle's younger sister was drugged in an attempted rape. It happened at some closed party and we weren't there with her. Two random people barged into a back room to hook up and found her unconscious with some guy licking her legs. We haven't seen Elle's sister since. Their parents sent her to some private facility. Elle says she's fine, but there's no way an experience like that leaves no scars. On her or on him. So when Millie smashed that bastard's face, the one who tried to drug her, I celebrated silently. It was like watching a revenge movie from inside the plot. And I wasn't surprised for a second when she kicked him again. She didn't even need a reason to hit someone. The way she aimed for his ribs so precisely, I couldn't hold back the rush that shot through my veins straight to my groin. She turned me on just by existing, in that short dress with fury burning in her eyes. And God, how badly I wanted her not to leave. How badly I wanted to hear her voice, touch her. I reached out to her, hoping she'd grab my hand like a lifeline, and she did. Out of politeness, I offered to take her home, but inside I prayed she'd come with us instead. And then I heard her voice for the first time. It didn't hiss. It wasn't high-pitched. It came from somewhere deep in her chest. Husky, but feminine. Millie didn't want to go home. She wanted to be somewhere else. Maybe near me. I've never taken anyone on my bike. My exes all rode their own motorcycles. No one has ever sat behind me. Millie was the first. I grabbed her thighs again, lifted her slightly, and pushed her back onto the proper passenger seat. Why the hell doesn't she notice it's there? Or does she sit closer to me on purpose? We rode out from the waterfront. After she punched that guy again, after our short, weird conversation by the water, we were back on the road. Her arms wrapped around me, and I felt a slight tremor. It thrilled me. I've never ridden so slowly in my life. But since bikes are new to Millie, I didn't want to scare her with my usual speed. And she didn't have any gear. I should get her a helmet. We cut through empty streets, and I realize Millie let go with one hand and is now holding only onto my t-shirt. I glance back and see her reaching for the wind, eyes closed, drawing invisible waves in the air. She's enjoying it. I smile under my helmet and look ahead again. 20 minutes later, I stop at her house. Millie slides off the bike, fixes her wind-tangled hair and dress. She isn't smiling, but I can feel she feels good. She stands across from me, and I lift my visor. "I'm picking you up tomorrow at 2, I say, and watch her eyes widen. She's silent. Presses her pink lips together, then bares her teeth and turns toward the door. Her light blonde hair falls in broken waves below her shoulder blades. I watch her open the door, and then she turns back at me and with a stone face flips me off. She knows it was me, on the road the first time, and outside the cafe. I flip her off too, hoping she won't notice the hard-on straining against my jeans. Right at 2 in the afternoon, I'm in front of her house, leg thrown over the bike, leaning back. Do I have to wait for her? But Millie comes out on time. Black sweatpants, sneakers, white tank top. "Hi, idiot," she says, as she walks closer, barely smiling. I smile back, but she can't see it through my helmet. I grab the big bag hanging on the clip and get to my feet. I pull out a protective vest and tell Millie to raise her arms. She does it silently, and I pull the gear over her. Then I take out the helmet I bought for her this morning and hold it out. "Seriously? A rabbit?" She looks at the helmet, 2 small white ears sticking out on top. I thought it was funny. "A crazy rabbit," I say, and help her pull it on. I enjoy touching her, even if it's in this stupid way. "I warned you I'd only be slow and gentle the first time." I sit on the bike and once again have to grab her thighs and push her ass back onto the passenger seat. "Hold tight. Today won't be like the first ride." She exhales sharply and I start fast. Still nowhere near my usual speed, but even now Millie squeezes me so hard I almost choke in her arms. We arrive fast, and I cut the engine. Millie slides off the bike, and I catch her as she stumbles from the loss of balance. "You okay?" I lift the visor and look her over. She nods. I take off her rabbit ear helmet, then the vest, and take her cold hand into mine. I lead her inside, where Morris is already waiting. As usual, wrecked from Friday night and still half drunk. Ever since he turned me into a fighter, Morris has been hitting the bottle more often. But there's still too much life in his blue eyes for him to give up. "Hey guys, opened the place just for you. Normally, I sleep in on Saturdays, so please lock up when you leave. I'm going back to bed." He tosses me the keys and winks at Millie. She looks around the hall and tightens her grip on my hand. She hasn't pulled away once. She hasn't asked why I'm holding her, and I couldn't give her the answer anyway. I don't know why I need to hold her hand. I just do. I leave our helmets on a table and guide her farther down the hallway. "This is a gym?" Millie asks, eyeing the trophies and photos of guys in boxing gloves. "Maurice was my trainer. He turned me into a weapon, in a way. I love this place." "Why are we here?" She keeps following me, but I hear tension in her voice. "To let your anger out," I say, and motion her into a small mat room. She scans the space but doesn't show anything extra. I hand her a set of sports underwear and training pants. I prepared everything earlier. Her size wasn't hard to guess. She's small, around 5'4", maybe 140 pounds. Toned arms and legs, a round full ass, a slightly soft stomach. Perfect in her supposed imperfections. I've watched her stare at herself in the mirror and wrinkle her nose in disgust. She doesn't realize she's balanced. Millie takes the clothes and disappears into the locker room. She doesn't question me, or maybe she just wants to see where this goes. Either way, I'm glad I don't have to battle her the way she's used to battling the world, and she hasn't turned her anger on me, not once. I change into training pants but leave my torso bare. She returns and freezes when she sees me. I shrug, enjoying her stunned expression. I know my body is good. I worked for it for years. "What do I do?" she asks, walking toward me with her chin high. "Fight me," I say, lowering my gaze to her lips. She curls them into a smirk. Why would I do that? There are a few ways to get rid of anger. One of them is fighting, not on the street, beating up passerby, in a controlled space. Why do you think I need that? I can see it. I study her stance. She's ready. "You don't know me." She examines me, preparing herself. "I want to know you," I admit. "But from what I see, you need to get that anger out. It's eating you. Or maybe it's saving me. Maybe. But it would be better to feel something else instead of anger all the time." She watches me, silent, then nods. She gets what I'm saying, but she has nowhere to get those other emotions from. I was exactly like her before I got back on a bike next to my childhood friends. This is just one way to vent, to let off some of the pressure, to loosen that rage. I relax my shoulders, even though my insides tense when I see her eyes shine. What are the other options? She tilts her head but tightens her fists. I smile slightly. We'll get to the other options, eventually. "Hit me, crazy rabbit," I say, and her small fist is already flying toward my head. She doesn't need much encouragement to fight. Her punches are solid. Someone trained her properly. She knows how to strike and how to brace. I dodge, but her leg catches me. Aimed perfectly at the ribs, I grab her shin and sweep her other leg. She falls, but I catch her before she hits the mat. Millie breathes heavily, still trying to land blows. I grab her wrists and pin her body under mine. "Not bad, but before you hit, think," I whisper over her, and she bares her teeth. She wedges her knees between us and shoves me off, gets up fast and goes for my jaw again. I step back. Her eyes throw lightning, but she's quiet. A few strands escape her ponytail and she pushes them away. She steps in again and attacks. I block, catch her elbows, twist her arms behind her back, lean down to her neck. Control your anger. Guide it. Don't let it control you. My voice comes out almost rough. She's so close I'm breathing unevenly, fighting not only her, but the urge to pin her down and kiss her throat. She suddenly smiles, then slips one arm free and hits me. She let me grab her on purpose just to get close enough. Crazy rabbit. I step back and lick my lip. She split it. Metallic taste. Burning sting. Millie smiles, proud of herself, and leaps again. I grab her arms, sweep her legs, and we crash onto the mats, me on top. My hips pin her thighs, my hands hold her wrists above her head. She's breathing hard, strength almost gone. Her eyes widen, scanning my face like she's seeing it for the first time. Sweaty, messy, beautiful, right under me, in my hands. A tight knot rises in my throat. She sees it, and she sees I'm hard. I look at her, devouring her, and feel the blood pooling on my torn lip gather into a drop. A second later, it falls onto her lips. Her eyes widen even more, but then she parts her mouth and lets the drop slide onto her tongue. Fuck. I barely stop a groan. She smiles. I lick my bloody lip, trying to control the ache in my pants, release her wrists, and stand. She pushes up on her elbows, watching me. "You're still an idiot," Millie says, breathless. After an hour in the gym, Millie and I head out to ride around the city. I have to push her ass back onto the passenger seat again, and this time she's heavier. Tired after the fight. But I don't feel her anger anymore. We cut through wide streets, flying somewhere east. Sometimes Millie lets go of me with one hand and tries to catch the wind again. Every time she wraps her arms around me again, a shiver runs through me. Fucking arousal. Half an hour later, I stop at the waterfront and we walk down to the water. "It's quiet here," Millie says, staring into the distance. "The bikes will come in an hour, then it'll be loud again." We stand over the water and breathe in sync. "How old are you?" Millie suddenly asks, and it throws me off. "Does it matter?" "It does." She thinks for a moment. "You're too young for me." Wow. For what exactly? No one has ever asked me this, and I'm not sure how to react. My first instinct is to laugh in her face, but I hold it together. "In general." She studies me, then asks another question that hits me harder than her punches. "What do you want from me?" Images of her coming on her bed flash in my head. Okay, fuck, calm down. I haven't decided yet, I admit honestly. She clearly hates that answer, but chooses not to push it. She just turns away. "Come on, let's feed the crazy rabbit." I grab her hand, and we walk back up to the bike. At the diner, she orders the biggest burger and eats it in 2 bites. My eyes go wide. "I grew up in a big family," she immediately explains. "If you don't eat fast, you don't eat at all." I don't smile. It's not funny. She had to fight for food? Is that why she knows how to fight? "Where are you from?" I ask, sipping my milkshake. "Here, born here, raised here, studied here, left for Toronto at 23 on tour and stayed for 12 years. Huh. She looks younger than 35. "Why did you come back?" She takes a sip of her shake and doesn't answer right away. "My mother died 6 months ago." She says it without any sadness. "I came to spit on her grave and ended up staying." And her eyes fill with anger again. So that's the root. A bad mother. A fucked up childhood. "My mom died when I was 15. I say too quickly. I don't talk about this with anyone. She was the best person in our family. Millie freezes with her mouth full, staring at me with wide eyes. She swallows and exhales sharply. In that case, I'm really sorry she died, she says, breath hitching. And I'm sorry you had to grow up with someone who never became a real parent to you. She shrugs. Did you leave anyone behind in Canada? I want to know more about her, even though I stalked her the entire past week. My ex-husband, does he count? She gives a tiny smile, and something in my chest tightens, once, twice. You, no, I snort. Then no one. She bares her teeth in something like a grin. We look at each other and stay silent. More silence and more. Wanna dance? I pay the check and glance at her. Is that one of the ways to get the anger out? She perks up, one of the least popular ones. Then yes. She bounces on her toes and throws her arms up, and we head to a rave.
Millie. My legs are buzzing, my head is splitting, and I didn't even drink. I guess the speed, the wind, and the loud music shook my brain loose. It was fun, or something like that. And even though this morning I feel half dead thinking back on yesterday, it feels weirdly cozy. You have to tell me everything! Josie screams and bounces on my bed. I groan, pull the pillow over my head, and fantasize about slapping her across the face. What exactly am I supposed to tell her? How the guy she set me up with almost drugged me, and how strangers on bikes saved me. How I rode a motorcycle for the first time and met one of the most beautiful people I've ever seen. How he made me fight him in a gym and let me split his lip. How hot his blood tasted on my tongue. How we danced all night at a rave and I forgot I was over 30 and felt like a teenager again. Should I tell her how he kept holding my hand but didn't show a single emotion? I don't want to tell her anything, mostly because I have no idea what the hell even happened these last 2 days. You have a helmet with rabbit ears? Josie stares at the helmet by the door, eyes popping. What, are you a biker now? I howl into the pillow and shove my face into it again. Half an hour later, she finally gets the story out of me. The failed date with that psycho Joe. And I mention Casey only briefly. When you two have kids, you have to name one after me. I helped you meet this guy. Josie claps happily, and I wish I could clap her across the cheek. I will never have kids, but instead I say, there's nothing between us, and there won't be. He's too young, and you need to leave me alone with this stupid topic. If he's already 21, he's not a kid. Everything else doesn't matter. And she really believes that. I know her. Later we go to a cafe and order an obscenely huge plate of waffles with syrup. Josie talks about her nails, and I sip my coffee and watch people through the window. I'm not searching for the guy on the bike. I don't expect him to be around now, but I can't shake the feeling that someone is watching me. And even though there's no guy in a black helmet across the street, I'm still sure he's somewhere nearby. 3 days passed since Casey dropped me off after the rave. 3 days without seeing him or feeling him. I don't even have his number. Samantha smiles at me now at the studio. I roll my eyes every time she waves. We're not friends. Girl, I just punched a guy who was harassing you. Sometimes I want to ask her about Casey, but then I remember it's none of my business and getting into their group is a bad idea. Miss Savannah? God, how long has it been since someone called me that? Everyone usually calls me by my first name, but this woman loves formality. I need to talk to you about Berta. Berta is an 8-year-old girl with enormous brown eyes that could swallow the whole world. One of my best students. A bright, sincere, kind kid. But her mother is a bitch. I watched her during your class today, and she seemed distracted. The woman squeaks with her overly painted eyes. Berta is always focused and attentive, and she's one of the best. I begin, but this stupid bitch interrupts me, lifting her hand. You see, Miss Savannah, Berta gained a couple of pounds this month, and I think she needs to move more. She is, well, she practically whispers, fat. My eyes widen. I barely stop myself from punching this hag in the face. Berta stands 2 steps away, staring at the floor. Your daughter looks wonderful and moves beautifully. I try again, but the bitch interrupts me again. Could you give her more attention and make her move more? She's so clumsy. I look at Berta. Her tiny hands curl into fists, and her nose starts to run. She's crying. Listen, I'm trying to be polite only because the kid is right here. No, I just want to say I'm willing to pay more for— Shut the fuck up! I hiss through my teeth, careful not to alarm the other kids and moms. Your daughter is talented and moves beautifully. She's not fat. She's fucking 8 years old. She's supposed to be like this. She's perfect. And you, stupid bitch, you're ruining her life and your own. Because one day when Berta grows up, she will hate you. The woman stares at me, lower lip trembling, eyes wide. Then she swallows hard and steps back. I look at the girl, but she still won't lift her head. But her mother grabs her hand, nods at me awkwardly, and they rush out of the studio. Shit. I probably won't see Berta in my classes again. And suddenly I want a drink. Badly. My mother was an alcoholic. She drank even while breastfeeding my baby sister. I hated her from the moment I turned 5. My father was the only one who tried, the only one who showed any care. But even he couldn't handle the woman who gave birth to 4 kids and loved none of them. He was always traveling for work, trying to earn more, wanting to give us a good future even though we weren't poor. Sometimes he stayed home for a month or more, and those were the best times. He took my older brother to baseball, took me to dance classes, and took my younger sisters to the park. While he was home, my mother didn't drink. She just lay in her bedroom watching cheap Brazilian soap operas. But the moment he left again, she'd drag her heavy body out of bed and start emptying the entire bar cabinet. I don't remember her sober. Not anymore. But I remember every word she said to me and my sisters. That we were ugly, fat, disgusting girls who would never have families because no one would even want to fuck us. Yeah, the word fuck I heard for the first time at 7. My sisters were 5 and 3. And she was really telling us how worthless we were. My older brother was 14 and could at least leave the house, escape all the drunken bullshit. But I hated when he left us alone with that woman. Though now, I can't blame him. Hey, girl, Josie yells when I walk out of the studio. What are you doing here? She's never picked me up from work. My friend waves her hands, showing off a short yellow dress and high heels. She's pulled her long black hair into a tight ponytail and even— What? She did eyeliner? You're going on a date? I catch it instantly. Exactly. Josie practically squeals. I met a guy on that app, and we're going to the movies tonight. Lesson learned, I'm not taking drinks from strangers anymore. She salutes me like it's a joke. So what are you doing here then? Oh, it's actually kind of funny. Her huge blue eyes get even bigger as she leans in and whispers conspiratorially. He picked a meeting spot just a block from here, so I came by to make you wish me luck. I haven't seen her this happy in a long time. Luck? I raise my eyebrow at her. Maybe he's the one who needs luck. Try not to eat him alive, friend. She reaches out like she wants to hug me, then immediately pulls back. You're not ready for hugs yet, right? She knows me too damn well. Ugh. I smack her shoulder lightly and tell her she looks great. A minute later, she runs off to her date, leaving me in a mess of emotions in front of the studio. I pull my big headphones over my ears, pick a playlist, and start walking home. Today, I want to walk. I mean, I don't have a date. What, am I offended? What the fuck? It's been almost a week since I heard anything from Casey. Josie now disappears for days with her new boyfriend, Luke, and doesn't even annoy me with her stupid questions anymore. I'm starting to feel even lonelier. The only thing that actually makes me happy is Bertha. She still comes to class, and she even seems a little brighter after that whole scene with her mother. I turn off the music and put the speaker on the table when I realize my short Friday workday somehow turned into a very long one. It's already 5 p.m. and I'm still here. I lock the studio door and notice Samantha outside. She's sitting on the pavement with her knees hugged to her chest. You okay? I don't actually care, but I'm polite enough to ask. She looks up at me with tear-filled eyes and snorts with contempt. All right. I walk past her. Why are you such a bitch? Her words hit my back, but not hard. I turn to her but stay silent. No, really, Millie, you are a bitch, a mean bitch. Everyone's scared of you. I'm scared of you. Why are you like this? Tears run down her pretty face. Her lips tremble like she's about to have a meltdown, and she's still clutching her knees like they're her last support. It's easier to be a mean bitch than sit here crying like you, feeling sorry for myself. I'm not angry at her, and I don't hate her, but God, she looks pathetic. So it's a defense mechanism? She keeps digging. I don't care what it's called. I shrug and take a step toward her. What happened? She stays quiet for a minute, then exhales. Bo didn't come? God, so it's about a guy? Ugh. Actually, he's mad at me. No, that didn't clarify anything, and I'm not interested. But Samantha's already spiraling. I had a bad day and snapped at him. Said horrible things on the phone. Then I regretted it and wanted to apologize when he came to pick me up, but he didn't show up. Did he break up with me? And she starts crying again. This is preschool level drama. You two fought, and you've already decided it's the tragedy of your life? Seriously? He never does this. Even when we argue, he still comes to get me. And now he didn't. He could have had something else going on. I've been sitting here for an hour. She squeaks it out. Then stop fucking sitting here. I extend my hand to her. Come on, let's go do something. I don't need another friend. I don't need someone else's drama. But she suddenly reminds me of my little sisters, and I keep my hand in front of her face. I can't just leave. What if he comes? Even at 17, I was smarter than this. Fuck, Millie, just walk away. Leave her. If he wants to see you, he'll call or find you. You don't have to sit out here all evening. Why the fuck am I not indifferent? She stares at me without blinking. Then she finally takes my hand and stands up. Where are we going? She asks timidly. I don't know much about friendship except for Josie, but I know what helps her when she's upset. First, we buy something slutty, I say, squeezing Samantha's hand. And then we dance. Maybe she needs me tonight, or maybe I need her more. Samantha wipes her face, and just like that, she looks a little happier. And I feel like a babysitter. But it's still better than spending another day alone with my anger. And again, I think about Casey. Oh, for fuck's sake, why? We drove to Soho and bought a couple of tight dresses on sale. For Samantha, a black one with lace on the shoulders. For me, the same cut but in white. We grabbed heels at a discount too, because I'm sure neither of us will ever wear them again. We got our makeup done in a cosmetics store and fixed our hair. Or something resembling that. Then we walked into Barry's bar and downed a couple glasses of wine. God, I missed drinking. Samantha barely spoke the whole time, but she smiled and kept brushing her hand against mine in this grateful way. I got the feeling those biker guys are the only friends she has. And she has no idea how to be friends with people. Same as me. Her phone stayed silent. Bo never showed up. At some point, even I started worrying. With biker guys, anything could have happened. But then I remembered how Casey vanished from my life just as suddenly as he appeared, and I got pissed instead. Fuck him. I'm too old to be upset over some pretty boy. You feeling better? I finally asked when Samantha leaned back in her chair, looking calmer. Yeah, thanks. Then she narrowed her eyes at me. And you? You look angry? I'm angry all the time, so don't ask stupid questions. I even smiled so she wouldn't pee herself from fear. Why? She took a sip of wine and rested her head on her hand, waiting for my answer. It just turned out that way. I shrug. No one should feel angry all the time. It's not right. Tell that to the Hulk. God, I hate when people start thinking they have the right to give me advice. Seriously, I survived and I'm still alive. I don't need anyone's lectures. And Casey can go fuck himself, too. Oh, did I just realize I'm mad because of him? Fuck. What's not right is us still not dancing. I finish my wine and get up. Where are we going? Look at her. Already forgot she spent the day sobbing over Beau. We walk out of the bar hoping to catch a taxi right away instead of waiting half an hour. And then I hear sharp, screeching tires. A wave of hot, dusty air hits us both. Samantha shuts her eyes and I start coughing. When we come back to our senses, we freeze. Two guys on bikes stop 20 centimeters away from us. In fucking suits. One is in a black shirt and fitted blazer. The other, white shirt, black vest. Both in black trousers, skinny ties, and sneakers. And both of these assholes are wearing closed helmets. They just sit there, silent, watching us. I look at Samantha and see her face stretch into a huge smile. Beau, she breathes and runs up to the one in the black shirt. I roll my eyes dramatically. He lifts his visor, says something to her, she hugs him and practically bounces. I glance at the second guy, black vest, hands resting on the tank, boots planted wide, holding his bike steady. He doesn't move. Doesn't speak. Just watches me. Oh, go fuck yourself, asshole. I roll my eyes again. All right, Samantha, I say. Have a lovely evening. We'll dance some other time. I turn and start walking away, but thin fingers wrap around my wrist. Millie, Samantha squeaks, come with us. I look at her hand holding me, then at her face, then at the guys behind her. I wrinkle my nose. No thanks. Another time. I pull my hand free and take a step back. Have fun, and don't you dare cry again. I turn and walk off, but I don't get far. Big, strong hands grab me by the waist, flip me around, and throw me over a shoulder. What the fuck? I growl, and then he slaps my ass. He sets me on my feet next to his bike. I'm breathing hard, boiling, trying to see his eyes through the damn helmet. Get on, he says. Not asks. Orders. I cross my arms in front of my chest in protest. He turns his head toward Beau, who already has Samantha on the back, and they start rolling away. Get on, Casey repeats, harsher. I know it's him. I see the chain tattoo on his forearm, sleeves rolled up to the elbows of his white shirt. No, I say, and practically stomp my foot. God, the embarrassment. He lowers his head, shakes it in his helmet, exhales sharply. Well then. And suddenly he grabs my arms, turns me around, pulls me against him, then grabs my leg and throws it over the bike. I land on his seat, and he ends up behind me. His hands reach around me, the engine roars to life. What the hell are you doing, you idiot? I growl, and now I'm actually scared. He pulls me tight against him, his legs framing mine, and we start moving. My hands are braced on the tank, my head against his shoulder. We're not going fast, but my body takes the full force of the wind, and I start shaking. Casey must feel it. He presses even closer. And then I feel it against my lower back. His dick. That's definitely a dick. And as if reading my mind, he makes a small thrust with his hips and, yep, big, hard, pressed right against my ass. I stop breathing. He thrusts again, and this time I hear him growl. Idiot. I can't squeeze my thighs together, there's nowhere to move, so I just blush violently and close my eyes, begging myself not to react. We stop near a low old building with white columns. Beau and Samantha are already waiting. Casey gets off and helps me down. I spin around and punch him in the chest. Idiot. I spit out and fix my dress. Maybe we'll actually get to dance tonight? Samantha asks, winking. Don't test me, child. I look around. We're at some official event. Expensive, spotless cars on the lot, people in suits and gowns stepping out. Where are we? I ask Casey. He pulls off his helmet. and I realize how long it's been since I last saw that clean, dangerously beautiful face. No emotion, as usual, but something like faint surprise in his eyes. He looks at me. I look at him. His gelled back hair, blue eyes reflecting the sunset, that sinful mouth. "We're at an auction," he says in a low voice and takes my hand. We cross the parking lot and blend into the crowd of elegantly dressed people. Well, sure, auction. Why would I need more info? Idiot! Inside, we're greeted by clean-shaven men in red ties, handing out numbered paddles. I don't take anything, still silently protesting. Casey exhales, shakes his head again, and grabs one with the number 169. We walk farther. I have no clue where Bo and Samantha are, too many people in suits everywhere. Women glitter with earrings and necklaces. Men sip drinks like they're made of gold. My head starts spinning from all this polished bullshit. The idiot keeps holding my hand the entire time, silent. We enter some massive hall. There are even more people here, and slow music plays. In the far corner, I spot a quartet and saxophones. A young waiter passes us with a tray, and I reach for a glass. But Casey moves my hand away. "Don't drink," he orders again. "What the fuck is your problem?" I widen my eyes at him. He sighs sharply and starts pulling me across the entire hall toward an exit. A minute later, we're outside on a terrace. Fewer people, cleaner air. Casey keeps walking, guiding me along the railing. Below us is a huge garden under the balcony. We turn the corner and end up alone in the dim light. Just two tall tables and nothing else. On one side, windows full of well-dressed idiots. On the other, the garden. Casey turns me to face him, then steps forward. I swallow hard and back up. My spine hits the wall. I freeze. He's cornering me? He hovers over me, and for the first time tonight, I see something that almost looks like a smile on his lips. "Miss me?" he whispers, his nose nearly brushing mine. "No." I lie, obviously. Fuck him. Ouch. He clicks his tongue, pretending to be offended. "But I brought you a present." "I don't need a damn thing from you." Anger starts boiling in my gut. "Really? Then why are you mad?" he whispers again. "Because you forced me to come here?" My heart skips. "Or because I didn't show up for a week?" How the fuck does he know that? I'm trying so hard to bury the attraction clawing its way up my spine, but this idiot isn't helping. He towers over me, gorgeous and powerful in that perfect outfit with those stupidly full lips. His eyes shine, and I want to drown in them. "You're way too confident." I fight the tremble in my voice. "I know," Casey says, pulling something from his pocket. He takes out a small black velvet wrap and opens it slowly. I watch his hands, breath-catching as my brain finally understands what I'm looking at. He lifts his eyes to mine, and hellfire dances in his pupils. "One way to get rid of your anger," he hisses, leaning in closer. "Don't even fucking think about it." I shake my head. But there's a tight knot pulling in my lower belly. He takes out a metal vibrator, about 4 inches long, thick enough, and curls his fingers around it. With his other hand, he unlocks his phone. A second later, the vibrator hums to life. Casey studies my face. I'm trying not to melt, trying not to whimper, trying not to grab him by the shirt and pull him into me. He says nothing. Doesn't ask. Doesn't demand. He just lifts my left thigh and drags the buzzing metal up the inside. I feel the vibration. He swallows hard when his hand slides between my legs. His eyes flicker from mine to my mouth. I want to scream at him, hit him, run. But I freeze instead. I want him. The metal touches the little swollen spot under my panties. My mouth parts. Casey almost smiles. He runs the vibrator along my folds, then pushes the edge of my underwear aside. I stop breathing. The vibrator glides over my clit, then lower. I feel myself dripping. He teases me for another minute, circling my clit with the buzzing tip, and then he slides the metal toy all the way inside me. I gasp silently. He watches my face one more moment, then gently fixes my panties and steps back. Don't take it out until I tell you to, he says softly. And behave. No alcohol tonight. Or what? I finally breathe. Or I won't let you come. I freeze again, like an idiot. He checks his phone, taps something Isthari, and the vibrator inside me speeds up. This asshole, this absolute bastard. It's controlled through your phone? I hiss. He smirks. Come on, the auction is starting. He grabs my hand and pulls me back inside.
Casey. Mr. West was the one who kept me from watching Millie all week. He kept dropping by my place, trying to talk me into going back to my father. I practically ran every time I saw his car. Eventually, I agreed to meet him and spent 2 hours listening to him drone on about family and legacy and how important it was to return to my father's empire. I didn't tell him yes, but I was too drained to shut him down again as hard as I wanted to. I didn't want to stay away from Millie for long. But later, I decided maybe it wasn't a bad test for her, not seeing me for a bit. Just a week. I wonder if she missed me. Did she think about me in the shower or touch herself imagining me fucking her on my bike? A rare Confederate is going up for auction tonight. Bo yanked me out of my thoughts about Millie, shoving his phone at me. He showed me the invitation he got in the mail, eyes glowing with excitement. I thought you had plans with Samantha. It's Friday, right? I couldn't care less about the Confederate. I already had a couple of rare models in my garage, but for Bo, that bike was a unicorn. He'd dreamed of owning one his entire life. We fought, he muttered, staring at the invite again. You're going to the auction without Samantha? That didn't sound like him at all, and I knew he'd lie if he answered yes. But Bo just shrugged and deflated. Later that evening, when we were in the garage, Bo's phone kept blowing up with calls. I knew he wanted to be with Samantha more than anything, but the auction had him hooked too. Answer it, I growled. It's not her, he sighed. It's just Al. But the phone wouldn't stop vibrating. When it rang for the 4th time, I grabbed Bo's arm and forced him to answer on speaker. What the fuck, man? Al barked. I've been watching your girl for half an hour and I just want to say, she looks fucking amazing. Shut up, Al, Bo snapped, fists clenching as he stared at the screen. Oh, got your attention, good, because I've got news. Samantha is with her new friend, you know, the stripper girl, both in pretty dresses, drinking wine at Barry's. I was passing by and saw them, so where are you two? I stopped breathing. This was fate. Bo met my eyes and gave the smallest nod. Thanks, Al. We'll go get them, he said, hanging up before Al could start ranting. Suits? I asked. Hell yes. Bo lit up instantly. Auction and the girls. I didn't need to explain a damn thing to them. They've always understood me without words. The 3 of us had been together since 5th grade. Since the first day we met in the school gym, when we stood up for fat Joshy getting kicked around by older kids. After that, we were just pack animals. Same interests even back then. Bikes, the workshop, dancing by the pier. We never talked about life before we met, but we knew what lived inside each other anyway. Where L spiraled too fast, Bo and I held him by the shirt, keeping him from drowning in his own darkness. Where Bo tried again and again to impress Samantha, God, he'd been in love with her as long as I could remember, Elle and I helped him plan stupid surprises and buy confetti. When my mom died, they drove me out to the woods, handed me a bat, and let me smash one of Bo's dad's old cars to pieces to get the rage out. Then they wrapped me in their arms and stood with me for hours until the anger ran dry. They were everything I had left. My real family after Mom died. the only ones who accepted me as I was, and who stayed when I changed. At 18, when my father decided it was time for me to officially become part of his criminal empire, I lost my friends. But even then, they stayed with me through our group chat and nightly calls. I never had to explain myself to them. They always knew. So, there was no point discussing whatever the hell Millie was to me. We headed up to my apartment above the garage, and I loaned Beau one of my best Tom Ford suits. Before walking out, I went to the wardrobe and pulled out a velvet pouch. I'd bought it the day after the rave. Time to take Millie's anger management to the next level. She's breathing hard beside me when I dial the vibrator up to 70%. We're standing in the middle of a packed hall, waiting for the auction to start. Millie keeps trying not to look at me, and I can't stop staring at her face. A vein in her neck is pulsing, and I can feel through my skin how hard she's fighting her moans. The vibrator inside her is dancing, and I'm the one controlling the tempo of that dance. Beau and Samantha join us, chattering excitedly. Millie does everything she can to pretend she cares, and I can't help but laugh inside, knowing how much effort that costs her. So, as a reward, I add another 5%. She jerks her head toward me, eyes widening. "Stop!" she hisses. But I take her hand again and she grips mine, almost shaking. "You okay?" Samantha asks, but Millie only smiles tightly and squeezes her thighs together. The auction is announced. The crowd flows into the main hall and settles into rows in front of a low stage. Millie sits to my left, Beau and Samantha to my right. I wink at Beau. Tonight he's buying his first rare Confederate. I look at Millie again and see her cheeks flush. She crosses her legs, trying to steady the trembling, so I push the vibration to 80%. "Asshole," she exhales, and I hear her first moan of the day. The auction begins. The first lots are presented. Millie is breathing unevenly, then suddenly grabs my shoulder, pulling me closer. Her hot breath hits my ear and jaw. "Please, stop. I can barely sit." I meet her eyes, and there's so much want in them I'm seconds away from taking her right here, in front of everyone. But I only smile a little and shake my head. "You angry?" I murmur, while the bidding goes on. "No," she exhales immediately. Then the method is working. She smacks my arm. "I still hate you," she hisses. "We'll deal with the hate later. I've got a device with a different caliber for that." Fuck, I can barely hold back my own groan, watching her writhe in her seat. Millie turns away, trying to clasp her hands neatly on her knees, but it comes out shaky and clumsy. A couple more lots pass. Finally, the Confederate is announced. Beau tenses. "Opening bid, 93,000, the auctioneer says. Beau instantly lifts his card, but apparently there are more rare bike fanatics here than we expected. Within minutes, the price jumps to 120. "Oh God," Millie whispers, and I know she isn't reacting to the number. I look at her and see her legs shaking. The sight knocks the breath out of me. "Please," she breathes, reaching for me. I freeze. She's about to come. "Fuck, I'm not going over 150, Beau mutters, getting frustrated. Samantha tries to calm him, but I can't look away from Millie. Her breathing is breaking into moans now, and she's licking her lips like she can't help herself. 160, the auctioneer calls. 160 once. All I hear is her. Her breath. Her quiet, desperate sounds. 162. I lick my lips, trying to contain the shaking crawling up my spine. My cock is so hard it hurts. I've never been this turned on in my life. 160. 250, I shout, jumping to my feet. The hall freezes. Beau says something to me, but I don't hear a damn thing. I look at Millie. She's practically sliding off the chair. After the auctioneer repeats 250 3 times, the hammer drops. Sold. I toss my bidding card into Beau's lap and whisper, "Happy birthday, man." Then I grab Millie and practically drag her out of the hall. We speed down the corridor, past the music room, and burst onto the veranda. It's empty. Everyone is still inside. Millie is moaning louder now. Her legs barely carry her. We reach the far corner of the terrace. The second I let go of her hand, she spins around and hits me in the chest. "Fucking asshole. Fuck you." Her voice breaks off, dissolving. I swallow hard, turn her around, and press her palms to the wall. She doesn't fight. She arches her back, offering herself without a word. I press my hips to her ass and max the vibrator to 100. She starts moaning, rubbing her round ass against me. Her head drops between her arms. Her legs tremble violently. I lift the hem of her dress, revealing her perfect ass barely covered by thin panties, and watch her grind against me. My cock is throbbing against the inside of my pants, begging to be inside her. Her ass meets me perfectly now, right against my dick, and she moans so loud I almost lose it. I grab her hips and hold her in place, guiding her movements. Her rhythm builds, and I bite my bottom lip hard. I could come from just this. Her shape, the arch of her back, the sound of her breathing. I force myself not to fuck her, not yet, but my right hand slides up her stomach, down into her panties. "You goddamn asshole." She moans louder as my middle finger finds her clit and glides over it. She's hot, wet, trembling. My cock leaks inside my pants as I circle her clit again, and then Millie comes, clenching, shaking, throwing her head back. Her knees buckle, but I hold her, pressing her tighter against me. As she relearns how to breathe, I slide my fingers inside her and pull the vibrator out. It's scorching, slick with her release. Millie turns around and collapses back against the wall. She nearly slides down, but I catch her by the waist. "You really are an asshole." She gets out with a shaky smile, eyes closed. "Dude, you bought me a bike?" Beau practically runs up to me just as I'm settling Millie onto my motorcycle. I just stare at him in silence and pull my helmet on. He snaps my visor open with one quick move and looks me straight in the eyes. "Casey." He starts, but I quickly jerk my head so the visor shuts, and I clap him on the shoulder. "Beau, please. It's my gift." "But my birthday was last month," he mutters in confusion. "Then consider it a gift for your next birthday. Now get lost." I shove him aside and climb onto the bike. Millie hesitates before wrapping her arms around my waist, and we leave the auction. She hasn't said a single word to me since she came apart on that veranda. When I took her hand and led her out, she just walked beside me in silence, breathing evenly. I know she isn't angry, but that silence, it throws me the hell off balance. Did I scare her? We glide through the streets and pull up to her house. I stay on the bike, helmet on, unmoving, while she slides off and walks to the door. She's still silent, no glance back, no expression, nothing. When she puts the key into the lock, I freeze, waiting for something. Any kind of reaction? Nothing. She just keeps turning the lock. I lost. But the very next second, she lifts her hand over her head and flips me off without even looking back. I smile. Crazy rabbit.
Millie. I'm drained. Hollowed out. There's not even anger left in me. He took all of it. And I'm not sure that's a good thing. I woke up at 5 a.m., but I didn't get out of bed. I just lay there staring at my old curtains, technically my grandma's old curtains. I really should redo this damn place. I remember how much we used to love staying with her on weekends. It was the only time away from my drunk-off-her-ass mother and her tantrums. But Grandma was too old and too tired to babysit 4 mentally screwed-up kids for long. She was the first one in our family to die, at least from the ones I got to meet alive. Her heart finally gave out after years of watching her daughter slowly turn her kids' lives into hell. My mother used to be a ballerina, and dancing meant everything to her, same way it does to me now. She had my brother at 22, peak career, and everything went downhill after I was born. Her kids killed her career. And then she spent the rest of her life killing us. I stay in bed for a couple more hours, not planning to do anything today. Maybe I'll shower. Maybe I'll watch a movie. Maybe I don't know, finally start living. Last night with Casey was insane. He's hot, sexy, infuriating, and ridiculously sweet, damn him. That asshole made me come hard, and he didn't even fuck me with his damn dick. My phone vibrates, and I melt back into the memory of that vibrator dancing inside me. I get turned on from the thought alone. The phone keeps buzzing, so I finally lift my head off the pillow and wipe drool from my cheek. Hey, babe, want coffee? Josie's strained voice comes through. Are you okay? Something's off. Yeah, she exhales. Just have coffee with me. I'm a shitty person and a questionable friend, but Josie's the only human who survived more than 15 years in my orbit. So even though I hate my existence right now, I drag myself out of bed and get dressed. We meet half an hour later at our usual spot. Josie's in huge sunglasses and unexpectedly wearing a scarf. You okay? She swallows hard and takes the glasses off. Above her left eye is a small scrape, a cut across her nose almost as thick as my pinky. Holy shit, Josie, I squeal. It's fine, I felt. Her eyes water and she swallows again. Show me your neck, I demand. She jerks her head in refusal. Fuck. I've told this lie 1,000 times in school. How I fell, how I tripped, how I hit something. I invented this bullshit. Tell me. I reach my hands across the table toward her. I've never done that before, but she needs me now, and I want to help her. There's nothing to tell. She tries to smile, but it's crooked. We were messing around, and he started hinting at sex. We've had sex before, it was great. But this time he wanted some spice, as he called it, and when he was on top, he started choking me. I didn't like it, so I tried to pull away. And then tears, she breaks, and I don't need to hear the rest. And I don't. I already know what happened. He fucking hit her. We have to go to the police. I start, but she waves her hands frantically. No, I'm not becoming another domestic violence victim. No, I can't. It was just bad sex. Josie, no! She snaps, loud enough for a couple at the next table to stare. Please, Millie, I don't want that. It's over. We broke up. Let it stay just a terrible hookup memory. I know what denial looks like. I know what it feels like when the person you love turns into a monster. I lived with one. I don't push. I just nod, hoping she'll change her mind later. Maybe in a few days, maybe months. Sermons won't work. They never worked on my father either. We stay in the cafe a little longer. I offer to take her home with me. We buy 2 kilos of ice cream, start a movie, and bury ourselves under a blanket. When the vibrating phone wakes me up, the first thing I do is check if Josie's still next to me. She is, fast asleep, still holding her spoon. What time is it? It's only 7 p.m. The phone keeps buzzing on the pillow. I squint at the screen, not recognizing the number, but pick up. Hey, crazy rabbit. Casey's voice. I stare at the phone again. What the hell, asshole? But I'm already smiling. Josie groans awake and opens her eyes. You play poker? Casey asks, and I glance at Josie. Now I notice the violet marks on her neck, the scarf slipped. No, I say, stepping off the couch. I'll teach you. I'll pick you up in half an hour. No, I snap too loudly. Listen. I step into the kitchen. Everything okay? His voice drops even lower. Listen, I'm with my friend and I can't leave her, not tonight. She needs me. And I can't. Silence. I hear his breathing tighten. She in trouble? Now I'm quiet. Maybe I'd want to tell him everything, to ask for help, to let him find that fucker Luke and destroy him. But I've known Casey less than a month, and just because he made me come doesn't make him my boyfriend or my hero. We'll pick you both up in 30 minutes, be ready. He blurts and hangs up. What the fuck? I hiss at my phone. What happened? Josie peeks in, scarf back on. Nothing. Just an asshole calling to hang out. Oh, the biker guy. She glances toward my rabbit ear helmet. For the first time today, she smiles. I shrug, adding that I'm not leaving her alone and he can go screw himself. But Josie steps closer, takes my hands, and looks straight through me. If you don't go with him tonight, I will hug and cuddle you nonstop for the rest of the evening. A low blow, friend. A fucking low blow. I stare at her and my chest tightens. I didn't protect my sisters, but I'll protect her. I won't abandon her. No, I can't. But Josie presses her body against mine. Like this. This is how I'll be clinging to you. And I feel her tears soak into my shirt. What the hell, woman? I hug her back. I know you're the meanest bitch alive. I know you hate people, but you're the best person in my life, and I know you love me, no matter how hard you pretend otherwise. I'm not letting you give up a night with a guy you actually like. Something that happens like once a decade, just because I had a shitty date. She pulls back and looks right into my face. You're going with him tonight. You'll party for both of us. No? I shake my head. In that case, you're coming with me. He said both of us should be ready in half an hour. Her eyes go huge. Then she bursts into hysterical laughter. Josie? I ask when her laughter gets borderline manic. Hell yes, babe. She throws her hands in the air. I'm ready. Fuck Luke. I'm not playing victim. Let's go ride some damn bikes. And almost dancing, she bolts to my closet. I know you don't have my size, but I am ready to squeeze into any of your slutty little dresses. She cackles, flinging my clothes everywhere. We step outside, and the two bikes are already waiting for us. Somehow, Josie managed to squeeze herself into one of my thin, strapped dresses, the one with the skirt that ends just above the knee. She put on heavier makeup and knotted a scarf around her neck. I decided I'd had enough dresses for a while. Riding on a bike in one of those is a fucking disaster. So I pulled on my black skinny jeans and a cropped black top with sleeves, leaving my stomach bare. Ladies! That's L. I recognize his squeaky voice instantly. He climbs off his bike, lifts his visor, and walks toward us. I'm L, he says, handing my friend a helmet and helping her toward his motorcycle. Josie laughs at something he says and her eyes start sparkling. While they mess with her helmet, I slip on mine. Casey is standing in front of me on his bike, absolutely still. Black hoodie, black jeans, white sneakers, visor down. I walk up to him slowly, grab his shoulder, and swing my leg over the bike. As usual, without even looking back, his hands reach for me, lifting me by the hips and sliding me farther back onto my designated seat. Yeah, I know I'm supposed to sit there, but I like pressing against him, even if my knees annoy him. He can deal with it. Without a word, he starts the engine and we shoot forward with a scream from the tires. We're in the lead, and I keep glancing back to make sure Josie's okay. She waves at me wildly and squeals every time Elle's bike pulls up alongside ours. Casey glances at his friend, and Elle, hence without letting go of the handlebars, raises 2 fingers. Hold on! Casey calls back to me, then speeds up. Are they fucking serious? The boys start racing. Josie is losing her mind, shrieking and curling herself against Elle. Hell yeah, baby! Elle yells and tries to overtake us. Casey leans lower and accelerates again. We surge ahead. Then, a minute later, Casey slows down. He lets Elle's bike pass us, and Elle throws a big thumbs up into the air. How noble, letting your friend win. Eventually, we pull up to a large house with bikes and cars already parked outside. That was so freaking awesome. Josie screams, ripping off her helmet. Elle beams at us proudly. I need a drink. Like, now. Josie chirps, bouncing up the steps. Hey, Elle. I call, noticing the way Casey tenses beside me as I hand him my helmet when he removes his. Elle walks up to me, still smiling. Listen carefully because I'm saying this once. My voice doesn't shake, doesn't rise. Just cold, flat, sharp. I look up at him and automatically clench my fists. If you hurt her, if you say something wrong, do something wrong, look at her wrong, or even think something that might hurt my friend, I'll kill you. I'll rip your insides out and let you bleed out slowly. Elle's smile dies. He swallows hard. He believes me. He starts panicking a little, but I really like her. He sounds terrified. I lift one brow and feel Casey step up behind me. Really? Elle blurts immediately, glancing between the two of us. I won't hurt her. Ever. I swear. I stare another second, then give him a small nod. He backs away quickly. Crazy rabbit. Casey leans down, whispering into my ear, and electricity jolts straight through my spine. I turn to him, studying that stupidly beautiful face. His hair is a mess tonight, longer strands falling into his eyes. You gonna tell me what happened to your friend? He straightens. Sharp bastard. No, and I start walking toward the house. I get 2 steps before his hand closes around my neck and pulls my back flush against his chest. You angry? He breathes into my ear again. And just like that, I'm getting turned on. That's exactly what he asked right before he fucked me with that vibrator, isn't it? And if I am, what then, asshole? My breathing quickens and he feels it. First, I'd wash your mouth out with soap. You swear too fucking much. He pauses, voice dropping into something that could melt concrete. But instead of soap, I'd use my cock. Motherfucking hell. My clit pulses and the knot in my belly tightens again. I don't see his face, but I hear his grin. Then he releases my neck and steps back. Maybe later. Right now we're playing poker. He grabs my hand and pulls me inside. There are people everywhere. Half of them in biker jackets, the others in t-shirts. The girls are all different too, some in gym clothes, some in dresses like Josie's, and some literally in shorts and bras. The music isn't loud, but loud enough to drown most conversations. Casey leads me down the hallway and into a small room with a green felt table. A bunch of people are already seated, chips clicking under their fingers. Hi, someone squeals, rushing toward me, and I barely manage to dodge Samantha's attempt to hug me. She freezes, looking embarrassed, and drops her arms. Oh, honey, Josie steps toward us. Our Millie hates hugs. It's like water torture for her. My friend offers Samantha her hand. They introduce themselves politely. Good to see you, Samantha says to me again. I force a smile. We playing? I see Bo at the table shuffling the cards. Casey pulls me toward a chair and sits down. I don't know how, I whisper. He looks at me for 1 second, and then, with one swift motion, lifts me and settles me onto his lap. I freeze. He spreads his legs a bit, positioning my ass on the chair between his knees. You're my lucky charm tonight, he murmurs, brushing my hair off my shoulder. My little rabbit's foot. I look at the table, cards and chips already coming out, then catch Josie's eye across from me. She gives me 2 huge thumbs up. I think your friend likes me. Casey breathes against my cheek. My body relaxes and I slowly start sliding down. Casey grabs my thighs and pulls me back against him. Now I can feel his dick under me. I grind against him just slightly and Casey lets out a low sound. Bo sits beside us with Samantha next to him, then Elle, whispering something to Josie as she blushes, and on my left, a dark-haired guy with glasses. Let's begin, Bo announces. After several rounds, I start catching on. When Casey first won with pocket queens and 2 threes on the table, I honestly thought poker was pure luck. But when Elle started bluffing, things got interesting. I want a drink, I whisper to Casey after almost an hour. No alcohol, he says without looking up, rolling his chips. What about water? I tilt my head, almost brushing his cheek with my nose. His jaw flexes. He nods. He helps me stand and follows me with his eyes as I walk out. Josie trails after me. I'm having fun, she announces, and something inside me loosens a bit. I had one beer, I'm not even playing, and I'm still having the time of my life. She's practically singing. We push through the crowded room, bodies dancing, and end up in a big kitchen. I grab a clean glass and fill it with tap water. He seems like a good guy, Josie says. Who? I empty the glass. Your boyfriend. I choke. Literally choke. He's not my boyfriend. Oh, please. You were sitting between his legs grinding on his dick. If only you knew how I was grinding on him last night. Josie. I lower my voice. He's too young. Oh, shut up. 10 years is nothing. Besides, you look his age. Thanks, but have you seen the girls here? 3 girls in tiny shorts and black bras walk past us. One glances at us, snorts in disgust, whispers something to her friends. They look back and giggle. I'm out, Elle yells, appearing out of nowhere, hands raised. Ladies? He gently touches Josie's waist. She blushes again. Elle! A shrill voice screeches. We all turn. The short shorts girl is glaring at us. Are these women with you? These girls, Elle corrects her, are with us, yes. To prove his point, he pulls Josie closer. Ah, she drawls, then scoffs. I thought that one was your mom. Her little friends cackle. I don't need much to ignite. My anger is a loaded gun with a hair trigger. I throw my water straight into her face. Oops, sorry. Thought that piece of shit on your face needed washing. I smile. Elle bursts out laughing. Her friends gasp and start yelling. What the hell, Grandma? The soaked brat shrieks. She lunges at me. I step aside. She slams into the counter and falls. Pathetic. Her friends drag her away while Elle keeps laughing. Josie gives me a nervous but approving nod. I refill my glass. No one notices anything. Everyone's too busy. Fresh air? Josie asks Elle sweetly, leading him out. I stand alone like some elephant at a watering hole, sipping water. That's the bitch! A shriek. I turn. The soaked brat, flanked by her 2 friends, and behind her, a huge 30-year-old guy in a leather vest. Seriously? You snitched to Daddy? I ask. He's my brother, she squeals. The guy glares and steps toward me. My fists clench automatically. I won't take hits like I did as a kid. Not anymore. In 1 second, he grabs me by the shoulder and yanks. I punch him in the face, but it's like punching a truck. He growls, shoves me hard. My back smashes against the counter, but I stay on my feet. And then a body steps in front of me. Casey. He punches the guy with his left fist. The guy drops. But Casey keeps moving in, raising his fist again. Punch, blood, girl screaming, another punch, another one. He's not stopping. I grab his arm. No! I whisper, shout. Casey lifts his eyes to mine, and I see the kind of rage I've never seen even in myself. His blue eyes have gone almost black, pupils blown wide. His brows knit. His chest rises sharply. He blinks, drops the guy, straightens. Emotionless, but furious. I feel it radiating from his skin. I squeeze his hand gently. Let's go? He stares at me for 1 more second, then starts walking, dragging me with him. His friends appear near the exit. I swear they communicate telepathically. Casey looks at Elle and Bo. They look back. Bo and Samantha climb onto a bike. Elle helps Josie with her helmet. Everyone mounts up without a single word spoken. I look at Casey, but he avoids my eyes, waiting for me to get on behind him. The moment I sit, he floors it. We shoot off the lot, leaving clouds of dust behind us. We ride onto the grounds of an old abandoned amusement park. Casey's friends' bikes are already there, along with a couple of cars. It's quieter tonight than it usually is. We leave our helmets on a bench, and Casey grabs my hand again, pulling me somewhere without a word. We walk past an old ice cream stand, long dead and peeling, and I can feel he's still angry. Stop! I yank my hand back just enough to make him halt. You're pissed. He whips around to face me, sharp and sudden, but doesn't say a thing. I look up at him, tugging on his hand again, forcing him to focus on me. He steps toward me, slow, deliberate, just like he did on that veranda. His eyes burn, his jaw flexes, and yet his face stays unreadable. Tell me, idiot, I say, my voice thinner than I want it to be. Do you want me to help you get rid of that anger now? He freezes, lightning flashing in his eyes, and then the corner of his mouth lifts, just barely. Yeah, he understood the hint. You swear too much, he says, taking another step, and I find my back pressing into the cold wall behind me. You gonna wash my mouth out with soap? I raise a brow. Without the soap? Now he really grins. Dangerous, slow. His thumb drags across my lips, parting them slightly, and he exhales like he's been starving for this. Then, barely audible, on your knees. A rush of heat shoots from my throat down my ribs and settles low between my thighs. I drop to the ground slowly, trembling before I even realize it. One of his hands stays on my mouth, fingers teasing my lips, brushing my tongue, claiming space he hasn't even taken yet. With the other, he reaches for his belt, movements unhurried and loaded with intent. I want to look at what he's doing. God, I want to, but I keep my eyes on his. On the way they darken. On the way he watches me kneeling for him, ready to do whatever he decides. He kneads his hard cock, strokes it with his hand, and runs his fingers up and down it. Open your mouth. His voice is low. I open my mouth. He keeps holding my chin with one hand, and the next second, he pushes his cock between my lips. I swallow him, still looking straight into Casey's eyes. His breathing grows heavier. Fuck! He lets go of my chin and his cock, bracing both hands against the wall now, letting me suck and take him in completely. Casey bites his lower lip, and a live spark flashes in his eyes, the same one he always had before the fight in the poker room. He starts moaning and moving his hips slightly. It's the sexiest thing I've ever heard in my fucking life. His moans. A minute later, he grabs his cock again and stops me. Open your mouth and stick out your tongue, he orders, not asks. I do as I'm told. He leans slightly over my face and spits onto my tongue. Then he slowly pushes his hard cock back into my mouth, smearing his spit across my tongue. I'm ready to come from this alone. Casey bites his lip again and releases his cock, letting me enjoy the process on my own. He grows bigger between my lips, even harder. I move faster, and almost immediately he spills hot, salty cum onto my tongue. He moans sweetly again. I stay still until he finishes completely and swallow. Casey looks at me, slightly shocked, then pulls me to my feet and tucks himself away. I study him silently, then smile. Are you okay now? I step away from him and start walking, but turn my head and throw back, asshole! He growls, and I break into a run, laughing like an idiot. Casey grabs me, throws me over his shoulder, and slaps my ass. Mad rabbit! I hear the smile in his voice. He carries me toward where his friends are, soft music playing in the background. And then he slaps me again. We walk up to a group of people sitting by the river on what's left of a brick structure. It must have been a small house once. Now it's just a pile of stones. We come down to them, and I immediately notice how Elle is holding Josie, who's cozily tucked between his legs. Bo and Samantha sit next to each other, his hands wrapped around hers. Two more guys stand nearby, vaping, and another one is absently tossing rocks into the water. Millie? My friend calls out. Are you okay? I throw her my brightest smile. Elle hands Bo a bottle of something questionable, and they joke about something between themselves. Casey sits down next to Samantha and pulls me toward him. I plop down on the cold stones and stretch out my legs. So, this is how you spend your evenings, I ask the group. Usually not, but today is one of those days where you just want quiet and peace. Bo answers for everyone. Millie, can I ask you something? Elle starts, and I see Casey shoot him a sharp look. Not sure you'll get an answer, I reply, squeezing Casey's hand. I'll take the risk, Elle says. Are you a stripper? What the fuck? He starts laughing, and Josie and Samantha join him. That's the real idiot right there, Casey whispers to me. It's been eating at me, Elle continues, ever since we saw you dancing in the studio. What the fuck? I look at the guy sitting next to me and he just shrugs. They saw me? They watched me? How long has Casey been following me? I already told him. Samantha jumps in. He thinks that since you dance on high heels, it must be stripping. Elle laughs again and squeezes Josie even tighter. No, I've never danced striptease for anyone. Only for myself. Elle lets out a dramatic groan and I hear Casey exhale. I think it's time we spend a weekend at the cabin, Bo says, and now everyone's eyes are on the guy sitting beside me. Good idea, Casey answers thoughtfully. Next weekend? His friends nod in agreement. Hopefully you don't have plans for next weekend? He asks, leaning toward my ear. And if I do? You'll have to rearrange them. And if I don't want to spend the whole weekend with you? I whisper so only he can hear. If you lie, I'll have to wash your mouth again without the soap. He leans even closer and now we're almost touching noses. I feel his breath on my lips and my throat goes dry. You're way too confident, I whisper again. Tell me something I don't know, Mad Rabbit, he murmurs, slow and smug. Biting his lower lip with that slight smile. I want to strangle you with my bare hands right now, I whisper back. And I'm not joking. He's stoking my anger again with that charming, arrogant bullshit. Ouch, Casey says and leans in even closer, then lowers his mouth to my neck and drags his lips along my skin. I'll make you a deal, he whispers. Next weekend, first I get to do everything I want to you, and then we'll see how much strength you have left to try and strangle me. I am speechless. He lifts his head and looks straight into my soul. My Mad Rabbit.
Casey. I've been trying to reach you for days, Nate practically yells into my ear. I pull my sweatpants up over my hips and switch the phone to my other ear. The first one is already pulsing from his voice. Little brother, we need you. It's time to come back to the family business, he says, softening his tone but still sounding obnoxiously loud. My older brother is the only person whose calls I still answer these past few years. My father and I communicate exclusively through Mr. West. The old man is ruthless and without principles, but even he can't force me yet to accept my part in the business. So he sends Nate, as a negotiator, as leverage. Still doesn't fucking work. I'm not ready, I mutter, heading to the kitchen. I pour myself coffee and listen to more of Nate's whining. Casey, you know you'll have to do it sooner or later. Dad doesn't want outsiders involved in family matters. The family has to stay together, and you're part of that family. He takes a deep breath. Mom would have wanted us to stick together. No, Mom would have never wanted this for me. She'd never have married our father if she'd known the truth about his family business. Maybe that's why she died so early. Maybe she finally realized what kind of monster her husband was. I listened to a few more minutes of his babbling and hang up. My life was completely different a few years ago. I was a raging bull thrown into fights for show. After Mom died, I became uncontrollable, hungry for blood. My father dragged me to Morris's gym, and I went from destroying punching bags to destroying sparring partners. I got angrier, stronger. Morris taught me how to control my force, but not my rage. And then, when I turned 18, my father sat me down and initiated me into the dark details of our business. The only thing I truly understood that day was, it's illegal, deadly, and completely fucked up. But I also knew it was the perfect arena for someone like me. Nate was already 28 back then, fully immersed in Dad's empire and even enjoying it. But my brother always stayed clean. He didn't get his own hands dirty. That was my job. My initiation. After all, I'd spent years learning how to fight. My father, Adam Cross, real estate king, built his empire on blood and bodies. And I realized that fully the first time they forced me to break a few pairs of legs belonging to people I'd never met. I was only 18, and my father insisted it was the best training, beating innocent people for the sake of the family business. Sick bastard. But I liked the power. I lived off my anger. The only good person in my life was gone, Mom. And all I had left was the pain of losing her, and the hatred that filled everything afterward. I finally cut myself off from that addiction a few years ago. During another lesson, I saw a little girl in the corner. She watched me beat her father, a man who owed my old man money. She had the same eyes I saw in Millie that day on the road, eyes full of pain and rage. She was 2 steps away. I could have ended her life with one move, but instead I froze, because for a moment I saw myself in her eyes. I exhaled and stepped back. I never killed on my father's orders again. I walked away. Finishing my coffee, I glance at the clock and feel a rush of warmth knowing I'll see Millie soon. A whole weekend away with her. I'm drawn to that mad rabbit like she's pure adrenaline. She wakes me up, sparks something dangerous and familiar. She reminds me of the version of myself from 5 years ago, except she's stronger. She fights back. Her anger belongs only to her, and I'll help her let it go. I dial her number, and a smile creeps up before I can stop it. Millie picks up after 2 rings and immediately calls me an asshole. I tell her I'll pick her up soon and to leave her helmet at home, but bring a swimsuit. She huffs, but she agrees. When we pull away from her house 2 hours later, she's noticeably on edge. I push the SUV harder down the road and catch myself thinking something stupid. This is the first time she's sitting next to me and not pressed against my back on the bike. And fuck, I miss her hands on me. "You good?" I ask, trying to catch her eyes. Her eyes are shining like she's wired on adrenaline, and Millie exhales. I'm nervous. Don't ask why, I just am. I don't know how to explain it. It's like this weird feeling. I don't know. She rambles for a couple more minutes, then shuts down, lips pressed tight. She's wearing an oversized white t-shirt, more like a dress on her, with a black skull printed on the chest. Millie touches the skull and freezes. No idea what kind of shit is spinning in her head, but she looks ridiculous in the cutest fucking way. We drive along the waterfront, heading south, the sun dropping toward the horizon. When I take a curve, my hand brushes her knee, and she jumps. "Hey, Mad Rabbit, what's going on?" I slow down. I don't know. I just have this bad feeling. I can't explain it. It's the first time I see her like this. I pull the car over on the shoulder practically on a cliff. Below us, the river glows under the sunset. "Talk to me," I demand, unbuckling her seatbelt and turning her toward me. She meets my eyes and swallows hard. "I can't explain it," Millie whispers. "Just a bad sensation, like something's about to happen. I don't know. Do you ever get that?" "Sometimes," I admit, leaning in. "Are you worried about the trip?" "No." She shakes her head immediately. "It's something else. I don't know how to describe it." In this state, she looks even more tempting. Small, cornered, spooked. And I lick my lips, fighting the urge to bite her. "What the hell, asshole?" she snaps, noticing the shift in my expression. And just like that, she's back, pissed off, blazing Millie. "You angry?" I lean closer. "Oh, go fuck yourself," she huffs, crossing her arms and turning to the window. My fingers trail up her thigh, and she shivers again, but doesn't look away. I slide my hand higher between her legs, opening her knees. "What are you doing?" Oh, she noticed me now, turned back, arms lowered, body softening. "Taking care of your stress and your bad feeling," I murmur, my tongue dragging over my lips again. My dick fucking hates me, for the 1,000th time. "Stop," Millie says, but her body begs for exactly the opposite. "Please, shut up," I growl, smiling. I've already found her panties, warm and damp, and I stroke her through them, spreading her wetness. Then I push the fabric aside and drag my fingers over her hot, slick folds. Millie exhales sharply, watching my hand like it's the only thing keeping her alive. Slowly, painfully slow for both of us, I slip one finger inside. She throws her head back, eyes closed. I fuck her with one finger, then two, my thumb grinding her pulsing clit. When her breathing turns choppy, I pull away. Her eyes snap open, furious, locked on mine. I lick my lips again, grab her hips, and yank her lower on the seat. Then I thrust two fingers back inside her, and with my other hand, I circle her clit in fast, tight strokes. She starts writhing, moaning louder, her wetness coating my fingers as I drive into her harder. Her muscles clench, and Millie almost screams from the pleasure, staring down at my hand between her legs. She comes so hard her thighs jerk shut on instinct. I pull my fingers out and slap her clit. She gasps and lifts off the seat. I lick my fingers clean and barely stop myself from groaning. I suck every drop of her orgasm off my hand and lean back, satisfied as fuck. "You," Millie hisses, breathless. "Let me guess, fucking asshole?" I grin, and she smiles. "You're late," Samantha yells the moment we pull into the driveway near the cabin. She stands on the path, waving at us like we've been gone for years. "Millie," Josie squeals, nearly tripping as she runs out of the house toward her friend. She stops with her arms spread wide, hesitating. I've heard Millie hates hugs, but Josie keeps trying anyway, hoping one day Millie will let her. "Hi," Millie mutters stiffly, tugging at her oversized t-shirt. I circle the car, grab our bags from the trunk, and take Millie's hand. We climb the wooden steps and Millie freezes. "It's beautiful," she whispers, tilting her head up as she takes in the walls and the massive staircase leading to the second floor. I guide her down the hallway past two big rooms and she keeps turning, trying not to miss a single detail. We walk into the kitchen where Elle and Beau are already waiting. "Meat or fish?" Elle asks, pulling an apron over his head. "Whatever," Millie answers for both of us, still inspecting every corner of the house. I release her hand so she can wander, grab a bottle of water, then join Beau. "Night swim?" he asks, giving me a quick, knowing wink. Samantha and Josie walk in with bags of food. "This is going to be such a good weekend," Josie cheers, practically bouncing. "How about a swim before it gets too dark?" Beau asks, reaching for Samantha's hands. "Our room is upstairs down the hall," I say over Millie's head when she stops beside me. And when I say "our room," something tightens in my chest, but Millie doesn't react at all. I don't know why, but around her I feel like a damn schoolboy, and it has nothing to do with our age difference. I want to impress her every second, terrified of making the wrong move. No idea how she managed to carve herself so deep under my skin, but that itch she causes, I fucking crave it. After a while, the girls head off to change into swimsuits, and we go out to the backyard. The lake sits only 10 meters from the cabin, surrounded by forest. When I was a kid, this place terrified me. The silence was too absolute. But as I got older, this became the only place where I ever felt calm. That rare, slippery thing I never truly get. Elle jumps off the pier with a loud splash, shattering the quiet. Bo follows, diving head first. I'm more restrained, slip into the water cleanly, barely a ripple. "How's the water?" Samantha calls from shore. "Warm," Elle shouts back, waving her over. "Girl, move!" Josie shrieks and jumps into the lake like a damn cannonball, crazy. Samantha slides in gently, gasps at the temperature, then swims toward Bo. I dive under the surface, leaving only my eyes above water. And that's when I see Millie step onto the pier. Black swimsuit, strapless top, high-cut bottoms. She turns slightly and the bottom rides up, baring most of her ass while pretending to cover the rest. I growl under the water. She sits down, touches the lake with her hand, then lowers her legs. I swim toward her, resurfacing in front of her. "I can't swim," she says, avoiding my eyes. "Just hold on to me." I reach out. She hesitates a second, then slides into the water. Millie gasps as the lake wraps around her, shivering slightly. I take her by the waist and guide her legs around me. Her arms loop over my shoulders and she finally looks at me. I move us away from the pier, turning, letting the water spin us. "Don't do that," Millie orders when I dip us slightly. "Don't be scared." I pull her closer beneath the surface, and she clings tighter. While our friends splash around, shouting, diving, pushing waves across the lake, we move in our own rhythm. Slow, quiet, ours. My hands rest on her thighs. She studies my face without blinking. I keep us floating, turning gently like we're dancing over the whole damn world. My fingers slide down to her bare ass, and she exhales sharply again. "How's that bad feeling now?" I ask, dipping a little deeper. "I don't know what you're talking about," Millie replies, playful. And her eyes spark with a fire I haven't seen before. Calm, balanced, happy. "Want a drink? Millie, you coming?" Josie calls from the shore, holding Samantha's hand. Looks like those two bonded well. Millie looks at me and flashes a tiny, sharp smile. "No alcohol," she says, pressing against me once more before letting go. She finds the lake bed with her feet and walks out of the water. I watch her perfect ass move away, and my jaw tightens. "Race you," Bo yells, and we cut through the water like knives. When we finally climb out of the lake half an hour later, it's almost dark. Someone, probably Samantha, had the sense to switch on the backyard lights. The guys and I head toward the outdoor shower beside the wooden gazebo and turn on the warm water. I wash the lake off my skin and out of my hair, pushing wet strands out of my face when Elle claps me on the shoulder. "You fell hard for her, huh?" He grins. "Oh, he bought me a 250 grand bike just so he could get Millie alone faster," Bo adds, stirring the pot. "Are Casey's and Ball's deep trouble?" Elle continues. "Shut up," I growl, standing under the spray. My muscles ache from swimming for so long, and the heat loosens them, pulling the tension out of my shoulders. "Never seen you like this." Elle keeps pushing. "Like what?" I look up at him. "Calm?" He glances at Bo. "Maybe even happy?" Bo suggests. "What the hell did she do to you, man?" Ella asks, but this time his voice softens. "Nothing," I growl again. I've known these guys for most of my life. They've seen me in every version of myself. The angry ones, the broken ones, the dangerous ones. And maybe I don't notice half the shit they're talking about right now, but I do know this. Since Millie showed up in my life, I don't want the darkness the way I used to. Oh, listen, Bo says, turning toward the house. Music spills out. Laughter too, loud, feminine, already buzzed. They started partying without us? Ella whines. I towel off my body and head inside. Most of the house is dark except for the warm glow coming from the kitchen. We follow the sound. Louder music, louder laughter, and stop dead in the doorway. Samantha is shaking a bottle of champagne and spraying it all over Josie, who's still in her swimsuit, hopping around the kitchen and shouting along to the song. Millie is standing on the table, already in a cropped white top and those shameless high-cut bikini bottoms, dancing like she owns the night. Beautiful, Elle breathes, watching the chaos. Would almost feel wrong to interrupt. Bo agrees, crossing his arms and leaning against the wall. I stare at Millie, eyes closed, hips moving, arms spread as she sways. Her pale blonde hair flies everywhere, hiding her face, then revealing it again. She's so fucking beautiful like this. No anger, no fear, no tension, just free, happy. And that perfect round ass bouncing to the beat is about to send me over the edge. Okay, I've waited long enough. I click my tongue and step into the kitchen. The guys snicker behind me. I walk past Samantha and Josie, ignoring their champagne mayhem, and stop by the table. Millie's still dancing. I grab her wrist. She opens her eyes at me, and in one motion I throw her over my shoulder and walk out. "Hey, asshole," she yells upside down. I smack her ass. Christ, I want to bite her. I take her into our room, lock the door, and only then set her on her feet. "You're the Grinch," she protests, not yelling but offended enough. "And you're my Christmas," I counter, pulling her in and crushing her small body to my chest. I slam my mouth down on hers and breathe her in. I've wanted this for too fucking long. Millie parts her lips and licks into my mouth. I groan. She tastes like heaven, and a little sweeter. I grab her hips, lift her so her legs lock around me, and carry her to the heavy table by the window. I devour her mouth, her tongue, like a starving bastard, and she takes it, moaning and pulling me closer. She's hot and trembling with anticipation. I can feel her nipples hardening under her top, and fuck, I have to mentally fight not to come in 2 seconds. I set her on the table and rip the top off her. She moans when I grab her soft breasts and squeeze. I've fucking waited too long. This won't be gentle. I snarl against her throat, biting her jaw. She throws her head back, offering me more skin, and like a crazed artist, I lick along her collarbones, her breasts, then bite down on a nipple. She squirms, legs falling open. I strip off those sinful bikini bottoms and slide my fingers to the source of all that pulsing heat. She's so wet I feel her almost come from just my touch. I push one finger into her, still sucking her breast, and yank down my own shorts. I pull back for a breath, hover over her trembling body, smear her slick all over my cock, and thrust into her hard. Millie gasps, bracing herself on the table with shaking arms, giving me exactly what I want, room to fuck her the way I need, and I do, fast, rough, fucking relentless. I grip her hips and watch my cock slam into her, dripping with her juice. When I look up, she's watching too, eyes glazed, lips parted. I kiss her again, bite her lower lip. She exhales sharply and I feel her tightening around me. "Stop!" she suddenly cries. I freeze. "I need your fingers inside now." She pants, barely forming words. I pull out, soaked, and obey. 2 fingers inside her, dragging her closer. fucking her with my hand as fast as I had with my cock. The room fills with that wet, obscene sound, and I groan. Jesus, I'm ready to come just from this. I feel her clench around my fingers, but there's something else building, pressure from deep inside. I pull back slightly, still inside, and Millie breaks. She squirts all over my hand, a hot rush splashing across my fingers. Fuck, it's gorgeous. I pull out completely and rub her clit fast, sending droplets everywhere. While she's still shaking with the orgasm, I slam into her again and lick my fingers clean. She tastes so fucking good I shut my eyes. I pound into her harder, faster, high on the salt of her, still on my tongue. Then I pull out sharply and come across her stomach, shuddering just as violently as she did. Millie lies beneath me, legs spread wide, head tilted to look up at me, silent. If I'd known you come like that, I look down at her soaked thighs, I would have fucked you right there on the road the moment you almost walked into my bike. She snorts, and for the first time in a very, very long time, I laugh, really laugh, loud and real.
Millie. Millie Savannah, will you marry me? Please say yes so we can get this awkward moment over with. My then future, now ex-husband, never really needed me. I needed him. He protected me like a little sister and loved me the same way. He was never a real husband to me, even though I loved him like crazy. You're too angry for a woman. More like a rabid dog, Will said to me once. Or maybe more like a rabid rabbit. I look at Casey sleeping next to me, and for some reason, I remember my ex. They have nothing in common except maybe both know how to use their fists. But somehow my brain still drags me back to the time when I was a wife. Casey's on his back, head turned away from me, his body sprawled across almost the entire bed. Perfect body. Lean, defined, strong. No overpumped biceps, everything balanced and packed beneath smooth, clean skin. And God, that beautiful V-line makes me want to lick it. After he fucked me on the table, he carried me into the shower, washed me, and then fucked me again, this time on the bed. I'm too old for this endless bouncing on his dick, but even now with my legs aching, I'm still turned on, just lying next to him. I study his sleeping face a little longer and then slide out from under the blanket. I remember how he laughed, showing me his teeth for the first time. He never showed them before because he never smiled like a normal human being. The memory of his laugh squeezes something inside my chest. I go into the bathroom and look at myself in the mirror. I look kind of awful. These orgasms are aging me. I take a quick shower and pull on my long t-shirt. The clock says it's 3 a.m, and I sneak out of the room slowly and quietly down the stairs into the kitchen. The warm light is still on, but it's only coming from one corner by the big dining table. I walk in, grab a bottle of water, down it in 2 gulps, and exhale heavily. Girly? I hear Josie's voice but have no idea where from. I look around and throw my hands out. Where are you? Try looking down, babe, she grumbles, and I follow her advice. Josie's sitting on the floor by the fridge, leaning her back against the cabinet. What the hell are you doing down there? I walk over and notice the tub of ice cream in her hand. She's not alone. Samantha peeks out from behind the kitchen island. Girl party? I sit down with them. I couldn't sleep. Samantha shrugs. And I came down for water. Josie licks the spoon. And then we decided to have a little snack. They smile at each other, and for some reason, that annoys me. How are you? Josie drawls, smirking and wiggling her brows at me. Back off. I shoot her a look and snatch the spoon from her. We fall silent and eat vanilla ice cream straight from the tub. Whose house is this? Josie suddenly asks, as if it's just now hit her where we are. Casey's. Well, technically, his family's country house. His mom loved staying here, Samantha says, and there's something sad in her glance. How does he make his money? I ask. That question has been haunting me ever since he bought his friend that insanely expensive bike. Samantha shrugs and says something about Casey and the guys having a garage and working with parts. Yeah, sure, like I'm buying that. But honestly, it doesn't really matter. It's not like I'm going to marry him. He's not even my boyfriend. Remember when we broke into Drunk Walt's garage and stole that metal thingy? We decided to sell it and buy shoes for the ball. Josie suddenly starts laughing, covering her mouth with her hand. God, we were such idiots. She dives into memories and Samantha looks back and forth between us, spoon still in her mouth. Tell me more, Sam demands. I grew up with boys. I never had a real girly childhood. Oh no, you definitely wouldn't call our childhood girly, Josie says and laughs again. I watch her, legs folded in lotus, hands behind me, leaning back on my palms. And that time we stole a hot dog cart, Josie blurts out. That was fun and painful, I finish for her. Josie's smile slips and Samantha frowns. What? Why? She asks. Josie swallows and mouths, sorry to me. What? Samantha insists. Tell me. I take a deep breath, remembering myself at 15. We ran out of pocket money and really wanted hot dogs, so we decided it'd be easier to steal the whole cart than just a couple of sausages. We dragged it a few blocks and then ditched it. The vendor yelled and waved his arms. I look over at Josie. The next day, cops came to my house and told my mother what happened. She broke my nose as soon as they drove away. I remember that day way too vividly and my eyes filled up with anger. Samantha's mouth falls open and her spoon clatters on the floor, echoing around the kitchen. Tell me you're joking, she whispers. Not to me, but to Josie. Josie just shakes her head. Millie, Samantha starts. It's fine. That was 20 years ago. Another rhinoplasty and everything's just peachy. I try to smile, but it comes out as a crooked smirk. You two didn't steal anything else? Samantha turns to Josie, clearly trying to drag us back toward the funny part. But in front of my eyes flash scenes from that house I wanted to run away from forever but couldn't. After that, we stole a couple of lipsticks and a book. Spells, remember, Josie? The stupid one with pictures? For the lipstick, she slapped me across the face over and over, then made me eat the one I stole and shoved 2 more of her own into my mouth, disgusting, bright pink ones. For the book, she cut my arms with a belt so I wouldn't be able to hold it while I was reading. And then she locked me in the basement for the whole night. I spit it all out while staring at my toes, not really thinking about what I'm saying. Josie's wet sniff yanks me back, and she's dragging air through her nose, trying not to cry. Josie, don't, I mutter. I'm so sorry, Millie, and I'm so sorry. She starts, hugging her knees. I never told you this, but I am. Stop, I tell her. It was 20 years ago. It went on for 15 years, Millie, she blurts out. Samantha's eyes go huge and immediately fill with tears. Enough, I lean toward Josie. Cut it out, or I'll punch you. She shuts up, wipes her face with her hand and smiles. You bitch. I know. I grab another spoonful of ice cream and shove it into my mouth. Girls, Samantha tries. Shut up, Josie and I say at the same time, and then we start laughing. I don't know why I decided to spill my shit on them like this. Why now? But after mind-blowing sex with the hottest guy I've ever had in my life, I suddenly wanted to get rid of a piece of my past. Just by saying it out loud. I know a lot of people would be shocked by the things that happened to me, but why the hell should I care? Be shocked in silence. I lived through it. I was there. And now I honestly don't give a damn. So no, I'm not crying, and I'm not letting anyone else cry over me, at least not while I'm still alive. I hear heavy breathing behind me and turn around. Casey is standing there in nothing but sweatpants, fists clenched. He's angry. His blue eyes have gone black again. You okay? Samantha asks him. He walks toward us, closing the distance way too fast, then just as quickly hauls me up on my feet and slings me over his shoulder again. Save me some ice cream, I yell to the girls as Casey carries me toward the stairs. I can feel his rage. It's radiating off him. And when he sets me down in our room and locks the door, I plant my hands on my hips. What? I demand, watching him. He stares at me for another full minute, then grabs me by the hips and pulls me into his arms. He's breathing like a wounded animal, and I have no idea what to do with that. Asshole? I whisper into his ear, and he just squeezes me tighter. We stand there in the dark room, me hanging above the floor, legs wrapped around him, his arms locked around me, his face buried in my neck. He heard. He heard my little summary of childhood. Is this his version of empathy? What would he do if he knew the whole story? After a minute, he finally loosens his hold, sets me down on the bed, and steps between my legs. His eyes are blue again, shining with hunger. He pulls off my t-shirt and runs his hot palm down my throat, over my chest to my stomach. I exhale sharply, unable to stop the shiver that runs through me. My panties are already damp by the time he's done just looking at me and biting his lower lip. He takes my nipple into his mouth, sucking and gently biting. One of his hands teases my other breast, and he makes this low, rumbling sound in his chest. Then he suddenly straightens, flips me onto my stomach in one smooth motion, and urges my hips up, ass in the air. His hand strokes down my back, and I feel his breath between my legs. One arm wraps around my waist to hold me, the other slides between my thighs, parting me with practiced ease. Then his mouth is on me, and I start moaning. Loud. Casey buries his face against me, his tongue moving in slow, deliberate strokes that make my knees tremble. I push my hips back to meet him. He lets go of my waist and uses both hands to hold me open, going deeper, then up again, drawing tight circles over my most sensitive spot. My legs shake and I end up stretching out on the bed, barely holding myself up. He pulls away just long enough to kneel behind me. Still holding my hips in his hands, he leans closer. And a second later, I feel him slide inside me in one smooth, possessive thrust. My breath catches. A hot wave runs up my spine and explodes somewhere in my skull. When I try to push back against him, he tightens his grip on my hips. I'm the one fucking you, he hisses, and I freeze. His rhythm gets faster, deeper, and heat builds between my thighs, rising higher and higher, until it crashes into my chest and bursts in my head. The sound of his hips slapping against me fills the room, and I come around him too fast, wishing I could hold on just a little longer. He drives into me a few more times and then pulls out sharply, finishing on my lower back as I collapse face first onto the bed. Already on the way back, that bad feeling crawls up my spine again. I can't explain what it is, but something inside me, my inner beast, feels like something awful is coming and my whole body goes tense. You okay? Casey drives with one hand and strokes my leg with the other. We look like a real couple. A normal, loving, disgustingly happy couple. Spent the weekend with friends, heading home now, where a pile of dogs, okay, fine, just two, are waiting for us. From the outside, we probably seem like we're living some cozy domestic dream, which is very, very far from the truth. But what throws me off every damn time is how he reads me instantly. One glancing, and he already knows. Bad feeling, I say, and turn toward the window. I could fuck you again, Casey says flatly, and I know he means it completely. You can't fuck me every time I'm angry or nervous. I can. That was the whole plan. Inside, I smile. Butterflies and bats take off together in my stomach. Casey pulls up to my house, waits until I grab my stuff and step inside, and only then drives off. The moment I undress and flop onto the couch, my phone starts vibrating. Without looking, I answer, expecting Josie. We barely talked all weekend, but she's probably exploding with excitement right now. Instead of Josie's voice, a woman I don't know speaks. And instantly I understand, this is it. My bad feeling finally grows bones and a face. Miss Savannah, we regret to inform you that Presley Savannah passed away this morning at St. Luke's Sanatorium. Unfortunately, your brother took his own life, and there will be no funeral service in our church. You may collect his body tomorrow, if you wish. Otherwise, we will proceed with cremation on Tuesday. Once again, our condolences. Millie. When I turned 18, I was the last living creature in our family house, except for the ghost of my mother. That's exactly what she looked like back then. My father died of a heart attack 2 years earlier, and since then, my mother became even more vicious and desperate. She hadn't hit me for almost a year by then, because I had learned how to clench my fists and sometimes throw things back. A TV remote, a bottle of water. She didn't fear me, but she no longer had the strength to fight me either, so she spat her rage at me with words instead. My older brother had left long before that. Right after graduation, he didn't go to college, he joined the army instead. We rarely spoke, and sometimes he sent me postcards from wherever they deployed him. But only once a year did I hear his actual voice. When I turned 18 and got a scholarship to the dance school, I finally escaped our hell house and my insane mother. Presley gave me a place to stay and some money, supporting me until I met my future husband, one of the men he served with. It was probably the only good thing Presley ever did for me. Introduce me to someone who could be the protection he himself never was. After I moved to Toronto, our contact nearly vanished. I didn't know much about his life. He hated talking about himself and always held me at a distance. But I knew he had fallen into drinking and probably drugs, and had been discharged from the army in disgrace. He took the worst of our mother's cruelty when he was a kid, until he was 15, and only then she switched to her daughters. Yet even then, Presley never stepped in to protect us. Maybe he believed we all had to survive what he survived, or maybe she broke him beyond repair. And now I stand at the cemetery, waiting for them to lower the coffin with my older brother, the brother I haven't seen in over 10 years, into the ground. Now he'll lie here with the rest of the Savannah family. I'm the only one left, completely. The first to die was our grandmother. I don't remember her funeral because I had just recovered from my first concussion, and my father had given me some kind of sedatives. I only remember that it was sunny, and all I wanted was to leave and go to the park swings. The second was Loli, the youngest sister. She was 7 when our mother strangled her. I remember that day very clearly, but it was Christmas. My father had missed his flight, and my mother was furious he wouldn't be home for the traditional dinner. She got drunk too fast, and her anger turned into pure, violent rage. I managed to hide Vanessa in my closet, but Loli was in the room further down the hall, and I didn't reach her in time. I didn't make it. My mother's footsteps echoed through the whole house, terrifying. "Baby! Where is my baby?" she screeched, checking every room on her way. I locked my door and wedged a chair under the handle, told Vanessa to stop whimpering and hid with her in the closet. "Mom?" Loli's voice answered from the other end of the hallway, and I heard pure terror in her tone even from there. I didn't see what happened next, but I heard everything. My mother storming into her room, grabbing her, Loli begging her to stop, kicking, then a slap. Then my mother's voice softened. "Sweetie, I just want to hug you. Come here. Mommy needs a hug. Daddy isn't here, and Mommy needs you." We heard Loli choking, trying to break free, trying to breathe, begging, choking again. Vanessa started crying, but I held her face in my hands and whispered like a prayer. "Please be quiet. Please be quiet." Our little sister lasted 11 minutes before we heard the heavy thud of a body hitting the floor. We stayed in that closet all night and half of the next day. My father came home, and only then did we crawl out of our hiding place. She just stopped breathing. She just stopped. My mother wailed, hugging the cold blue body of her 7-year-old daughter. Sick love comes in many forms. My father's love was one of them. Blind, pathetic, monstrous. He knew. He saw. He understood she wasn't well, that she was an alcoholic and dangerous. Yes, she killed her own child, but he excused her, convinced himself and us that tomorrow will be different and Mommy will get better. She didn't. When they finally straightened the dirt over my brother's grave and cleared the soil around it, I took one last look at the Savannah family headstones and turned away. I walked a few steps with my head down when I heard a strange hissing sound ahead of me. When I lifted my gaze, 3 crooked smirks stared back at me. Large shadows towered over me, showing off brown teeth and tattoos across brows, necks, and knuckles. "Hey, doll," someone behind me clicked his tongue. I realized I was surrounded, at least 4 big guys with filthy boots. I stayed silent, waiting, not understanding what the hell was happening until the one closest to me finally spoke. "Looks like you're the little sister of our friend." He practically spit the words in my face. I kept my mouth shut as his words sank in. Maybe Presley's friends showed up to say goodbye? No, definitely not the grieving type. "See, sweetheart," he continued, pacing. "Your brother owed us a shit ton of money and decided to hide in some hospital. Checked himself into rehab." The guy spat near my foot and kept circling me like a vulture. 2 others stood with their arms crossed, studying me. Another was behind me. I couldn't see his face. "We were hoping someone from his family would come pick up his body," the first one went on, suddenly sounding cheerful. "So we followed the transport, and here you are." He lifted his hands like it was some kind of fucking miracle. "What do you want?" My voice finally scraped out. "We want our money back. He owed us big." "I don't have any money, and I haven't seen my brother in years. If you think I'm paying the debts of someone I barely knew, you're delusional." They grinned, even chuckled. "Oh, you will, doll," said the one behind me, the one I still hadn't seen. "Back off," I snapped, stepping to the side, trying to slip around the biggest one. He grabbed my hair and yanked me backward. I swung at him out of instinct, knuckles aiming for his face, but hit only his forearm. "Oh, the bitch likes to fight," he growled and shoved me to the ground. I tried to get up, but a dirty boot pinned me by the ribs. "No cash," he said, licking his lips. "Then you'll pay another way." His buddies laughed. "Go fuck yourself," I hissed, kicking him in the knee and scrambling up. I barely took 2 steps before someone's weight slammed into me from behind, smashing my face into the dirt. Hands grabbed my head. Then a skull crashed into my forehead. Everything flashed black. "Stupid little cunt." I caught fragments of the voice above me. "She's gonna be more trouble than she's worth." "Knock her out, and then we'll fuck her," another voice answered. I fought, clawing, twisting, grabbing. I forced my fingers into someone's eyes, pressing as hard as I could. He screamed right in my face, breath rancid, and I shoved off him, dragging myself to my knees. "You bitch," he screamed as blood streamed down his face. "You're not going down easy, huh?" said the first one, cracking his knuckles. I shook my head and raised my trembling fists. "Well then," he said, and his punch crushed into my jaw. I couldn't block it. Couldn't block any of the kicks that followed. Boots slamming into my legs, ribs, arms, stomach. I dropped my hands, relaxed my fists. I had no anger left. The anger that fed me for years, the rage that helped me survive my mother, the hatred that had kept me breathing. It was gone. After the beautiful weekend with Casey, his warm, big hands, his quiet but contagious laugh, Josie's joy, Bo and Elle acting like idiots, I had felt something I didn't recognize at first. Freedom, happiness, softness. I didn't want to be made of rage anymore. And now, after burying Presley, or the last piece of that nightmare, it was like I finally cut off the anchor of anger that had held me down all my life. I hoisted my sails toward hope. And with that, I lost all strength. They were beating me. 4 grown men stomping on my legs and arms. And all I could think about was Casey's hand on my thigh in the car. How he always takes my hand when he leads me somewhere. I just didn't want to be a ball of hatred anymore, even if that hatred could save my life right now. One eye wouldn't open, swollen shut and bleeding. Blood ran from my head, nose, mouth. I was nearly destroyed. My ribs screamed, my collarbone burned, my left hip throbbed, but I was still conscious. Barely. "We can fuck you dead long as you're still warm," one of them snarled, yanking my head up by the hair. I bared my teeth in a pathetic half grin and lifted my shaking hand. I gave him the middle finger. That was all I had left. He threw me down and kicked me again. Then he lifted his boot above my skull. I closed the only eye that still worked. Was I ready to die? Then something happened. A sharp whistle cut the air. A body dropped. Another whistle. Another body hit the ground right near me. "What the fuck?" one of them yelled, then started choking on something wet. "No, no!" Another screamed, then went silent. Rushed footsteps, a crack, another, and then silence. I couldn't open my eye, couldn't move. I was a heap of blood and broken bones pressed into the dirt. "Millie," a familiar voice said, close. "Open your eyes." I couldn't. I slipped under, into a sleep I desperately wished I wouldn't wake from.
Casey. I walk out of the shower, where I just jerked off thinking about Millie's moans and the way she comes, and pour myself a coffee. The weekend was so bright, so calm, so light that I still feel almost weightless. Even though today's the day I should be feeling grief, sadness, maybe even that old anger, I don't feel any of it. Today is the anniversary of my mom's death. 10 years. Every year I go to the cemetery and bring her favorite violets. Nate and my father never go on the actual date, but I know they visit. Her flowers are always fresh. I pull on jeans and a black shirt, slick my hair back, though the longer strands still fall into my eyes. I take a last look at myself. Mom would have liked how tall I grew. I walk outside and head for the garage, but my older brother steps into my path. "Hey, little man," he says. Not smiling exactly, more like baring his teeth, but there's a spark in his eyes. Nate and I are the same height and look a lot alike, except he has Dad's brown eyes and Mom's straight nose. "Nate," I say, eyeing his black suit, "heading to the cemetery." "We're heading," he corrects, jerking his head toward a tinted limousine parked by the curb. I exhale heavily and follow him. No point arguing. He's not alone. Of course he isn't. 3 security cars wait just down the street. If I tried to run, they'd shoot my legs out in seconds. I slide into the seat and immediately notice my father. "Hello, son," he says, leaning back, arms crossed. "Dad." I nod. I haven't seen him in 2 years, and he hasn't aged a damn day. Same chestnut hair, same clear brown eyes, same sharp jawline. He was a stunning man when he was young, and he still is. It helps him keep the right connections while hiding the fact he's a fucking monster. "The anniversary of your mother's death means we all show up," Nate says beside me, signaling the driver to go. We roll slowly through the central streets. I stare out the window, refusing to meet my father's gaze. "Casey," Nate begins, clearing his throat. "We need to talk." "No," I cut him off. "I'm not coming back to the business. I don't want that life anymore." "You must," my father's voice slides across the car, cold and absolute. "Must?" I turn my head toward him, fists clenching. I plan to run for Senate, and I need my boys by my side. He leans forward slightly, trying to touch my arm, but I pull away. "Brother, we need to stick together." Nate tries. "I don't want it," I snap. "Cut me out of the will. Tell people I died. Erase any trace I'm your son. Just keep me out of your fucking empire." My father smiles his darkest smile, but then glances at Nate when my brother gives a tiny shake of his head. "Killing you would be the easiest option," my father says calmly, "but I never choose the easy way." He reclines again. "I'm offering you power and influence, son. I need you." "No." I repeat it as we pull into the cemetery. "I can break your friend's legs," he murmurs, "burn your entire bike collection, force you back into the family, or you can make the right choice." Adam Cross never wastes breath on empty threats. Never. We circle the old monument in the center of the cemetery and turn onto a narrow path toward my mother's grave. I look out the window and see a group of men kicking something. Something that's lying on the ground. They're not workers. They're too brutal, too focused, too vicious. For a second, I'm curious what the hell they're doing. Then I look away. And that's when I catch a glimpse. Hair, a familiar shade, a shape, broken, bent, almost unrecognizable. "Stop the car!" I shout. My father stares at me sharply, then at Nate. This can't be real. It can't be her. I must have imagined it. But every cell in my body is screaming. "Millie." "Give me your gun," I tell Nate, holding out my hand. His eyes widen. "Nate, give me the fucking gun." Spit flies from my mouth. He hands it over and I bolt out of the car. They're still beating her, still stomping on her, still kicking her like she's nothing. And it is her. I know. What the hell was she doing here? Why isn't she fighting back like she always does? I close the distance fast, checking the magazine, hearing my father's guards pounding the ground behind me. My whole body shakes with rage, with terror, with something so raw I can barely breathe. 5 meters away, I see it. Millie, broken, bloodied, lifting her middle finger at the guy who just cracked her ribs. "Fight, baby, fight." When he raises his boot over her head, I shoot him in the temple. I spin toward the guards, snatch a knife from one of their thighs, and warn them off with a jerk of my head. Another shot, another skull exploding. I drive the knife into a third man's throat. He drowns in his own blood. "No, no, please," the last one screams. I punch him, again, until his eyes close forever. I'm shaking with rage and panic. Millie is barely breathing, wet with her own blood, falling apart in front of me. "Millie," I touch her hand gently. "Open your eyes." She breathes raggedly for another minute, and then goes limp. Tears claw their way up my throat. "Casey!" Nate runs up behind me. I'm shaking like I've been electrocuted. "We need to get her to a hospital." I nearly howl. "Please don't die. Please don't leave me." "So she is the reason you won't come back to us," my father says, his voice so cold it freezes my spine. "I barely know her," I growl, searching for her pulse. "Doesn't look like it," he replies. "You haven't touched a weapon in years, and now you kill 4 men for a barely known girl? Please," I beg, "we need to get her to a hospital." "If she's the reason you refuse, then it's convenient for me if she dies," Father says, leaning over me. "Or you can make the right choice, son." Blood pounds in my ears. My jaw locks so tightly it hurts. One move, one attempt to kill him, and they'll shoot me right here, me and Millie, both dead on the ground. She gave me something I never thought I'd feel again, something more than darkness. And now she's dying in my arms. I have no choice. "Fine," I hiss through my teeth. My father's smile spreads wide and satisfied. He nods to his men. They help me lift Millie's limp body. She lets out a soft moan, blood trailing from her mouth down her chin. "Please live. Live without me if you have to. Live with memories of me. Fine, just live. Be happy far away from me. Just stay alive." I hold her carefully in the car, her weight on my thighs. I fight the urge to pull her into me. I want to take her pain, every part of it. I want her never to hurt again. I want her to stay alive, for herself. Maybe for us. Maybe not, but alive. She moans once more, and I know it's the last sound she'll make for a long time. Paramedics meet us at the hospital entrance. They take her out of my arms. I squeeze her hand for half a second, then let go as if I never held it. Goodbye, my mad rabbit. Stay with us, the story continues. It only gets darker and much, much hotter.